games are always a roller coaster of emotion, what's happening. It's kind of never clean. They do make slightly more mistakes compared to Aurora, but I want to see if that's going to be the thing. I've been covering them in the European qualifiers. Their drafts, they look pretty solid, and the squad looked like they took it to another level because they took it seriously, knowing it's that time of the year, it's the money time of the year, it's EWC, it's TI. It seems like they are in a good shape right now to potentially cause some upsets.
Well, they better be, because this is, as you said, the time, and the previous series was won by both teams, but both of those series were the expected outcome. And for this one, let's see if there will be an upset. But of course, we need those players on the stage. So to get our match started between Nigma Galaxy and Aurora, we're gonna head over to that stage right now.
Thank you so much, Shiver. Yes, I'm here with Milos. How you doing, bud? You feeling all right?
I'm doing great. Honestly, it took me a little moment to recover from Gamer Legion's Game 2 against Extreme, but fair enough, Extreme are going to be happy with that. Gamer Legion may be back to the drawing board to lock things down halfway in the game.
Yeah, they might need to go back to the drawing board. That was a, as a Gamer Legion fan, not the best time I've ever had in the world. But hey, you know what can you do? We will see them again. It is no problem. It's just the group stage. Got to get that out. But I will say one thing about both these teams, both 2-0'd so far. Have not lost a single game. Somebody got to lose here today, my friend.
And I'm sorry to say this to both Falcons and BB team, this might be the big game that we've been waiting for excitement-wise, so let's bring out our squads. First up, it's Nigma Galaxy!
Nigma Galaxy.
The Galaxy is full of bright stars, Slacks, and this roster is as well. EWC 26 is their first big test as a team, and they succeeded in that 2-0 win yesterday. As you said, against L1, maybe they'll call them L2 after this one, but this is their toughest fight yet. I'm just wondering if Seb glazed them enough on the panel before this game.
You can't glaze this team enough, man. I mean, we got new players in new positions. We've got classic kings moving around. Heck of a team. There's a reason that they have not lost yet. However, we have another team coming their way. Aurora has done so much this season, but they haven't got that first place. This could be the event. This could be the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring them out. Aurora Gaming. Now Aurora is here for blood. You can tell the boys are ready for their big win. If they're gonna do it, it's a great team to do it against, my friends. So many classic players. We will see if they can take it here today.
Big challenge for both of these teams, and this might determine who holds on to first place, or really who can bat against Liquid later on. This group is tight as a drum between three teams fighting for 2 spots at the top. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Gents, please, Aurora, Nigma, place your keys. Get ready, my friends. It is time to do battle. Slacks. I think I'm very excited for this one. Let's end it then. Our battle's set. Our game is ready. Let's get it on.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Nigma Galaxy and Aurora, 2-game series coming your way, and I do want to talk about the Dota side of it all, because what type of Dota can we expect? We saw so many styles already on this stage that I kind of feel like we've seen it all, but you guys just talked about maybe Nigma Galaxy bringing out something crazy on their safe lane. What kind of crazy things can we expect here?
It's just that these are players that they're very oppressive to play against. Like, you know, you think of Sume, you think of GH. They're not here to just to get the last hits and, you know, the gold, the XP. They're here to get you too. Also, you know, they want everything. They want the gold, the XP. They want to kill you. They want to get your tower. They will take as much as you give them, or any opening you create. They will just go for it. So, in that sense, I'm looking at Nigma's safe lane as being some, you know, one of the things that could cause a lot of issues for Aurora. But the opposite can be said, because I think Nigma's offlane is a little bit hit or miss still. I think Davai is also that kind of player, which, you know, he fits really well with this team because he also has a very aggressive play style. Like he's really obsessed with how do I win my lane, how do I win the game, and he's willing to take the risk. And sometimes it falls short and it can look a little bit questionable, but the more important is you know, that's how you win games at the end of the day. You have to try to win them, right? And what you fail, you adapt, you learn from it, and eventually you win every game you enter. So, but against the safe lane of Aurora, which is Kiori and Nightfall, that's one of the most stable safe lane out there. Like, it's literally 2 robots that are doing things to perfection. So they might kind of bump their head against the wall. I'm a little bit worried about that. So we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I didn't see a water bottle on the Vi's desk. He needs, like, during TI qualifiers, he took a break. He paused the game and he's like, hydration break. And after that, he's just like walked in, solo carried that game.
It's okay, it's okay. I can look behind me and I'm seeing that it seems like the overall call is to have the water bottle on the ground.
On the ground, okay, so he has it ready.
I see it next to his feet. We're good.
Yeah, hydration break. We saw it at the World Cup. World Cup in football, very important as well. And yeah, they took it seriously. I also want to see what they're going to be cooking. Kuro seems to be on point with the drafts that they've been having so far. Ever since this new squad has been formed in TI qualifiers, they looked insanely good. Also, one hero that they played yesterday twice is Coddle. This is the hero that they've been excelling at playing for a really long time. GH on the hero. Of course, he's going to be the one, like, he knows the ins and outs of the hero. Even like with all the changes and everything, the dude still runs, you know, sometimes we saw him in the midfield talking about, you know, finding the passion and everything. Some of the heroes, some of the like more niche heroes that we are seeing. And something that you mentioned said yesterday was, you know, which hero you want to see, something new from the safe lane as well. This is the team that does play Spectre from the safe lane.
They do. I think they have a lot of creative ideas. I think this is a team that thinks with the full board of Dota heroes when they try to deal with something, when they try to counter something. So it's going to be quite interesting. I think it's hard to know what to expect from both teams, actually, because I also think Aurora has spent a lot of time behind closed doors preparing what they think the meta is. There are some staples. I think, you know, if you open Lone Druid, most likely you're going to have to deal with Nightfall Lone Druid. There are some heroes that we know might come. But besides that, you know, I'm ready to be surprised. And if I'm not mistaken, Lorenov has been standing in for Aurora, right? He has stood in for them.
Yes, he has.
So that's also something to factor in. Like, he knows them really well. Like, he's been part of that team, and they had a really good run, I think, when he stood in. I don't remember exactly how far they went, but that was one of the most impressive performances that I had back then. And people even got a little bit worried for Mikoto. It's like, well, how do you fill these shoes now that he's showed such a strong performance? Obviously, we know how that ended up. It has, you know, absolutely no problem. Mikoto really showed that he's also, you know, the highest caliber of mid laners. But
they did come second that time at a Dream League, so
which
still very good.
Is a very strong placement.
I have a very important question as we see all 10 players on stage with their coaches. Have noticed that they're all sitting in the same order. They got the mid laner in the mid. They got both side lanes in like the same position relatively. Is that intentional? Is that like set?
I mean, this is the dynamic of Dota, right? It's like you have the people that lane together. You want to have them seated together, and then the mid laner has his supports on the side, because the dynamic goes where mid laner plays with supports a lot. You know, that kind of stuff.
Some of the bans, of course, removing Coddle that we mentioned, GH and Viper. There were a couple of games where Lorenov completely took over the game by playing Viper. He is the lane dominator, going for a bit of a different build, like we've seen players, you know, try things out. What works the best? He goes for double bracer, boots of travel, kind of dominates the game of his own, takes over the map. And Darkseer, as a response to Shadowfin, we've seen it now like 4 or 5 times, and it looked very, very good every single game, in the mid game, in the late game. In the laning stage, it seems like he does struggle a lot. So I want to see if maybe some of the teams try to test out some new things, with more like creep skipping or just trying to jungle, because it just doesn't feel that playable for the first like 5-10 minutes.
You know, this Darkseer SF, it's hilarious, like, because I feel like we're at a point right now of the tournament where SF players are like, I don't care about Darkseer, and Darkseer players are like, SF, give me Darkseer. So somebody's gonna be wrong. You know, at the end of the day, somebody will be wrong. Is it the SF players or the Darkseer? I don't know, but nobody agrees with each other. So they have to play it out until we get a conclusion.
Do you think that because of that, the first step to that would be, okay, we'll switch Shadow Fiend mid instead.
Phoenix drawing ya
It's a
keeper
possibility,
ro
but I do think SF safe
Keeper
lane is just a
Nigma
much better hero right now than SF mid. So in that sense, the point will go to Darks here. But you know, I think both teams are really happy with what they're getting. Like Nightfall is, extremely good on SF. Whenever you think of Nightfall, you know, the team plays around him. That's how it goes. He's a very vocal player. So an SF strategy sounds perfect for his style. He's going to hit his timings, let his team know how he wants the game to be played out. And it's going to be an easy, you know, smooth sailing for Aurora from that point on. On the other side, Davai is known to be super aggressive.
Yeah,
This is probably one of his favorite hero, top 3, maybe even top 1. So I think he's extremely happy with getting this matchup. They actually led the Treant through, which is really interesting. It's one of the scariest. It's actually a Kaori signature hero. He's a Treant spammer, and Treant SF. As an offlaner, I don't want to go there. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I'm jungling.
I'll join you. We're gonna find a different. We're gonna double jungle or something.
Stack some camps for me, please.
Even if you're Darkseer.
ဒီကောင်လေးအပေါ်လမ်းကိုဘယ်လောက်ဖိဖိပါ Let's see တော့တိုးလို့ရတယ်
Yeah, I think there's going to be a good amount of creep skipping, or like the only way you can play against this lane, because
လင်းရတော့ရှင်ထိန်လို့မလွယ်တော့အဲ့တစ်ပင်ရဲ့
Shadowfin. So I want to see how they're going to be playing around it and where this Hoodwink is going to go, if this is going to be a position 4 Hoodwink or position 5 Hoodwink. We've seen good amount of more traditional position 4s coming back into meta. We've seen like Earth Spirit position 4 coming back, who is still available and who has also been played for the mid lane a lot, the most picked hero of the tournament so far. We've seen like Tusk, we've seen Spirit Breakers, Marcy's getting banned.
Is GH Hoodwink a thing? I can't recall.
Game 1 Nigma winner 2.6
I think more of Omar Hoodwink when I say it.
Because
what?
I mean, I guess they're it's possible for them to switch lanes. That's not an issue. So even if GH is playing, you know, the other hero, he could still be going to the off lane, for instance, and the Hoodwink could still be safe lane. Okay, insta pick Tusk Wind Ranger, no hesitation on that one.
Ranger,
so it looks like the Hoodwink is going to go with
Ranger carry.
Because I think you really want to pair the Tusk with the Wind Ranger in that
Ranger
case.
Carry,
especially when you see the Lion. I'm a little bit worried for the laning phase, because the way this. Sure, Darcy's gonna jungle, right? But Treant is probably the worst 5 to give freedom to in the early game. Treant gating is absolutely, it's very scary to play versus a Treant that is free to gate as much as he wants. It's hard to stop because he usually, whatever support he meets, he is stronger. So he's gonna win the century battle, he's gonna win the ops.
Ranger carry lane ကို AC ထိန်းလို့ရ ဝါချီရ
And then you have to play.
နောက်ပိုင်းလည်းအဲ့ကောင် focus fire
or might not be
အဲ့လို
there.
မျိုးပြစ်ရခတ်တယ်
It's tough to.
သူ့ပြစ်လေကိုတေးတေးဖြစ်မဲ့အကွက်ကြီးရော
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of this Centaur on 18. I think it counters what they kind of want to do with the whole draft. It gives your carry another life once he gets walled, once you create illusion out of it. It gives you relatively good reset. You also have Treant Protector to reset with his ulti. It's very good against Wind Ranger as well. Like if you save that later on,
ဒီကနည်းနည်းနှိမ့်နေပြီဒီကမှာနောက်ဆုံးတစ်ကောင်ပဲကြည့်ရတော့
multiple ways of protecting your own Shadow Fiend, and you already talked about how like they know how to play with the Shadow Fiend, kind of fits into their play style, how they play, how they work as a team, and I kind of agree. I feel like these type of heroes are gonna benefit from Nightfall, maybe even making a mistake, knowing that he can be bailed out of trouble.
This is a very solid draft from Aurora, I have to say. It's pretty much perfect. I think it fits it. It kind of ticks every box. Like they have everything they need. They have a lot of disables for SF, which is essentially what SF is going to require at some point. Their lanes are incredibly synergetic and strong. They scale well in the late game. They have a strong early presence. Yeah, I mean, living armor, stampede, a lot of global stuff also that can happen. It's I don't want to say Nigma's getting out drafted. I think they're getting what they want, but I'm just wondering if it fits the plan that Aurora is putting together.
Yeah, we are missing the mid laners for both teams, so there's still something that Nigma Galaxy can get out of that one, as they are the ones with overall last pick.
Yeah. And spirits, right? He wants to play the Earth Spirit. I mean, Earth Spirit is actually here that's been banned every single game so far, almost, and now it's been completely ignored. And you know, when you see the sniper and the Huskar bans from Aura, that kind of means I want to play a meaty hero.
This
Please.
team
I
are
don't wanna
bad,
deal
sounds
with
good,
those.
actually.
Viper also has been taken out, so that's another hero that usually you feel like you need to click a ban.
I don't know what
Nigma themselves have banned the snap and the Lee now. Like, so I think you're kind of free to pick meaty heroes or heroes that are usually counterable. Invoker, that works too. I think all the punishing mid laners are kind of out, so both mid laners have a lot of freedom, I think, in picking heroes right now.
I also love this Invoker pick. It gives them Dispel against both Darkseer, great against Wind Ranger, pre-BKB. He might be forced to not even finish Miller defending, like might just be it looks like a very solid draft coming out from Aurora in this game number 1 already. Seeing that the side, especially the off lane duo, Centaur plus Lion, extremely strong lane, plus the Sunstrike on top of that, they could easily get the kills in that lane.
What I think Nigma should fall back on is what they have is two very self-sufficient, say, like side laners. In the Wind Ranger, you get Centaur is decent against Wind, but not in an aggressive manner. It's just good defensively. So Wind Ranger is going to be chilling on her on her lane. Darkseer is going to look to fall back in jungle and stacks anyway. So I want to see the supports grouping up with the last pick mid to try to abuse this Invoker, because Lion is kind of weak in the early game. He can't really fight back a Tusk or a Hoodwink for that matter. And Treant has living armor, but he's not really mobile. I think Treant really hates having to play around mid lane. Early on, there are sentries everywhere. You're slow, you don't really contest. You're really bad at because of your attacks. So hopefully Nigma can build a trio of hero that can really bring the pressure to the middle lane. I think that this is how they get out of this chokehold that I think they've been put in by their drafting.
ကေးလို့ရတယ်အာလီပိုင်းနေ
taking a lot of time.
တက်စကလုတ်ပုံနေဆိုရင်လည်း invoker ကလည်း +1 အဲ့လိုမျိုးကျုံးလို့ရတယ်ဟောဒီမှာ hero အဲ့လိုလူတက်တဲ့ကောင်တစ်ကောင်လောက်ဆိုရင်
so far.
That's kind of bombing invoker the chain of
against Lorinov, making sure that he's not having the upper hand in this matchup. There's still Void Spirit again. It's a hero that can win the matchup, but his damage is a little bit limited compared to.
Nigma KO 24အောင်တန်းတယ်ဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါကြည့်နေတာဘာလို့ဒီကောင်နေရဲ့ကစားပုံနဲ့ဗာနဲ့ညာနဲ့ဆိုရင်နောက်ဆုံးပွဲရှုံးသွားရင်တော့အဲ့ဒီဟာကမိုက်လောက်တယ်23အောင်ဖြစ်သွားပြီ23အောင်ဆိုရင်တော်တော်တန်းနေပြီအမ်ဘာဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါတီးရမှာ Nigma KO ပါ
shorter cooldown, easier to execute if we're talking about
Nigma KO ပါတီး
setting things up compared to Void Spirit, who needs to be level 6 to set things up.
The thing though is
ပေါင်းကြံလို့ရရောဟိုကောင်အကယ်လို့ quest 1နဲ့ဆော့အောင်ကွာ
the shield anyway because it's going to get dispelled
ဒီချောင်းလုပ်လို့ရ
it's a tough call
quest 1နဲ့ဆော့ရင်တခုရှိတာအဲ့ tornado တစ်ပေါက်က
maybe use tag team as much
အဲ့ Desia ရှိတို့ဟို Amber ရှိတို့ပြက်တယ်
obviously if he goes for it means he knows that it's going to go well and that he can impact the game.
ပေါင်းပြီးလောက်ကြံတဲ့အခါမျိုးမှာအဲ့ buff တွေမရှိတော့ရ damage ကတိတ်မထွက်ဘူး Lane stage ပိုင်းနေရောနော်အာလီပိုင်း
pressure with them.
Hanging
maybe Ranger connect like we've seen people do with Shadowfiend. I think it's much easier to do with Wind. Obviously the power shot is
KO ပါတော့မဆိုသူကလည်းသူ
very mobile with the and same with Darkseer as you mentioned, if he's farming the triangle it takes no effort for him to just
Wind Ranger ဒီ off lane ကိုမနိုင်တော့မနိုင်ဘူး Shadowfiend ကိုနိုင်
you have like 5 heroes lurking around the middle.
So the pressure is on Nigma Galaxy to make moves this game because we're feeling like Aurora's lineup is just very stable.
It's super solid. Like this type of a draft, you show me these 5 heroes. I'm like, yeah, put me on this team. I'll play it. The draft kind of plays itself out. Make some kind of a scaling lineup coming. 50+ minutes.
I mean, I think it's pretty.
Ranger mobility နည်းနည်းပါတယ်လေ Shadowfiend တို့ဘာလို့ကြောင် mobility မပါဘူးကွာတခုဆိုရင်ဗတ်တဲ့
they love being in that
အဲ
position
မှာဝင်ပြစ်ပြီးရင်ပြန်ထွက်ခတ်တယ် Ranger ကြတော့ဝင်လိုက်ထွက်လိုက်နေလို့ရ
this is
ဒီ light တိုင်းပြန်ကစားတဲ့အချိန်မှာတာ
like the openings are going to be very small
အဲ့လို matchup တွေဆို Ranger နဲ့ပြန်ကျုံးတာမျိုးရှိတော့ရှိ
it's up to them to execute
တခုရှိတာ family ပိုင်းကြတော့ Shadowfiend ကိုမမီဘူး Ranger
if they don't I think
အဲ့တော့ item
But we've seen
နည်းနည်းတော့လိတ်တယ်ကွာ
We've seen them find those
item level တန်းဆိုဝင်ရအောင်မ
openings
နိုင်ဘူး
so
Shadowfiend ဟို
we
က
know
ထဲ
that
ထဲ
it's
ပြေုံ
possible. They just made it a little bit more difficult for themselves.
One shot game, one shot.
On the side of Aurora, is there any lane
Two
that they would
different
potentially
lah.
struggle
Oh, two
in, or
different
are they
mode.
just going to be
I mean, I think there's very little room for mistake. Nigma, especially for the Lion player. As soon as you're out of position against Tusk Wind Ranger, you just so maybe that lane could crumble if they the safe lane is going to be
နော်ဓာတ်စီရတက်စကအမ်ပါလားအဲ့3កောင်လုံးဝလူလိုက်တတ်မဲ့ကွာ
They could just be drinking water
ပြင်စောစီအဲ့လိုမျိုးဂါရီယန်လောက်နေဆိုရင်
opening the lane. I think they'll be fine. And to rotations and ganks probably.
Yeah, even if you make a mistake in this like bottom lane, Sunstrike, one stun from Centaur, one stun Hex from Lion is gonna fix that lane because it's an extra bit of a damage early on that is relatively easy setup. And if they find these openings, let's say Nigma Galaxy, they don't get a kill, they try to get some trade on the side, then they get Sunstruck, it could be like very snowbally for them.
And that's another reason to bring the heat to the mid lane, to just not let this Invoker like quietly push out the wave, use Sunstrikes, bring mana regen. They need to force him to use spells defensively, you know, not be ready to help the side lanes. It's going to buy time for the Dars here. Yeah, so probably also what is going to happen in the first waves mid will dictate a lot, because if your Ember is starving, it's hard to connect to him, and vice versa. If he's dominating the Invoker, it's going to make it super easy. So, you know, Lorenov has some sort of responsibility on his shoulders with his last pick Ember.
You guys mentioned that there might be also the mid lane might be influenced by people rotating. Who's going to rotate? Because it sounds like the supports are probably just going to chill in their lane on both sides.
I supports, I don't think you can ask for anything. These heroes kind of thrive, making a move around the runes. You have Tusk and Hoodwink. They just make so many things happen.
Yeah, they're gonna, and it's part of their play style too, right? These are players that enjoy being mobile and being active.
Okay, Nigma, do that, man. Do that, man.
I hope that we are going to see an active early game. Hey,
Toffee fast play. Oh,
yeah.
It's right. Galaxy went for an early smoke. No early first blood for them. They have been ruined by the trees. They might just stumble into a first blood of their own if only Aurora had gotten up to that high ground just a little bit quicker.
Might still be able to hold it here.
GH trying to bait them into it, but he gets stunned up. Chain stun off the stomp that hits multiple heroes, and there's your first blood. Immediately after that does some damage for Nigma Galaxy to break that high ground. They were supposed to have the advantage. Not the case.
I like the idea of going top with the At least you get the tree cuts. Did not want to give Shadow Fiend first blood and
they're going to get 4 bounty runes.
It's a disaster going into the laning phase. He not only has the extra souls, he has the extra first blood. He is king of the map right now. Rough start. Very rough start. I don't think they have to crush the lanes, but there's definitely some tempo pressure on them in this game. I think the Invoker is king of the late game here. It's a very tough matchup for Wind Ranger to play into with only 1 BKB now. The Centaur is going to give you a lot of survivability with Crimson Guard, and you need the Wind Ranger damage to kind of punch through these big cores in the late game. So I feel like Aurora have the scale. I feel like they're very comfortable here. They have Tree and Armor, they have Overgrowth, they have Invoker, they have Centaur with potential Crimson Retaliate. Like, there's a lot for this Wind Ranger to get through. And if the Wind Ranger can't get through it all, then you're kind of going back to some of the Darkseer scale against the SF with illusions and stuff, which we've seen can be really good, but can also be hit or miss.
Yeah, it all depends on how the lane goes largely. And it does seem like
Oh,
it's going to be difficult with the early kill going over to the SF. Meanwhile, this bottom lane, Lion Centaur versus a Tusk Wind Ranger, probably going to be a lot of action out of this. But our panel put a heavy highlight on the mid lane matchup. They said there's a lot of responsibility on Lorenov's shoulders. If he can win the mid lane matchup against this Invoker and then start snowballing that, beautiful forms are going to need that kind of momentum from their mid.
At least they pick up something for GH on the bottom lane, just running down. On the side. There's stun strike potential in this game too. Some decent setup.
You have
to keep that in mind here if you are Nigma Galaxy.
Level 3 လောက်ရရင်တော့တူတော့ထဲမှာ stat ထားလက်စီကတော့တူရတယ်ပါပြဿနာလေးမရှိ
answers to Wind Ranger in my opinion in the game.
အရှင်ထိန်းနေရင်တော့အထုခံရမှာမလွယ်
He has a lot to bail him out. That's the other thing. Like, yeah, your Ember can get on top of him. Yeah, you can get on top of him with Ion Shells, but he has Tree and Armor. Utility that can come out
လူကိုတို့ဆိုတာကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့
A lot going for this Aurora lineup if they can find the network in this game. I do like some of the nice little synergy here from Nigma Galaxy, right? The Ion Shell synergy going in on the front liners. It's going to create a lot of space for this type of game where he has a lot of to go on and find that big target. Those are the kind of games that can work. He's playing into some counters, but that mid game might look pretty good.
သူတို့ Prime တော့လည်းပွဲကြည့်ဘူးလေကိုရီ Prime မှာလည်းသူတို့နဲ့ဆော့ဘူးလေမတွေ့ဘူးကြာအကြောင်းမရှိသတင်းနဲ့အောင်ဆော့ဘူးလေ Q1 နဲ့
them pulling in Lornoff and Samael playing the carry. But I feel like he's adjusted.
Prime
That was a little dubious. I'll be the first to admit.
Okay. You have very high faith in him.
I have faith in his one position for sure. I think he's an absolutely world-class carry. You just have to have the right core setup. Like he's not a carry you can plug into any team and it's going to work out. And maybe those days are kind of gone for everybody, right? I think that's true of Nightfall too. When we're looking at this matchup, like you need to build the right team around Nightfall to utilize his strengths. You can't just plug him into any squad. Not everybody's on that same page. Because he is going to go in every fight. He's going to play very aggressive. He's going to buy blink daggers. He is going to start engagements. That is amazing. Those types of players are really nice to play with because they always set the plate. Sometimes they'll just carry the game, but more often than not, they can sometimes go a little too deep, you know, so you have that one or two bad deaths. If you have other core players that can capitalize on that and kind of pick up some of the carry slack, I think it's a really nice pairing. And
wow,
that was right on the edge, right?
Yeah, seriously, the blood grenade must have just ticked him down to, I mean, there had to have been a margin of like 10 damage. Make that kill happen.
It was 22.
22.
Hold it.
I mean, level 2 Sunshine, 225 pure.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Now, oh, yeah. Nice. Uma look da gone eh. Huali ne. Iron Branch ne.
This is concerning. You lost all the runes. You're giving up some Sunstrike kills. This SF is already a max soul.
So, hello, hero kill it.
He's already at 20 necro mastery. Just sitting up here, gonna last every single creep against this Darkseer unless you go for the creep cut. I think you just have the jungle level 2 He has 5 CS. This Darkseer has no gameplay.
Hey, you talk about play styles of various.
Let's see how
the kind of play style. And he really can't do that against this SF. Level 3 to take a break. He's certainly not going to be happy with that.
Level 3
They can't really pull waves very easily. The Train Protector will stop the Hoodwink, as we've seen before.
This is a real problem up top. The lane control.
You go never mind.
It's like 100%. They're denying a full wave against the camp. Nightfall has every lane creep. There is never going to be a dire creep going into this Darkseer's hands. For the rest of this lane phase. Some sort of region item or they make some move up here.
Yeah.
This is we're already seeing a net worth gap open up in this top lane. It's double. You're going to have to solve this problem at some point in this game. I don't know who's going to solve it. Maybe Ember with a power rune. Maybe you just rotate multiple heroes through the gate from bottom and bring resources from there. I don't know. It's going to have to be something.
Snowball helps Samael. He stays alive for now. Now Damage back around the WS. A wise move. Comes out to this bottom lane as Aurora get aggressive. They get a kill on the centaur. And can they get the kill on Mira as well? Power shot bringing him low. He still has a Lotus though. They're going to dive into this one. He pops the Lotus, stays alive a little bit longer, turns back around with a blood grenade. Is that going to take out GH? Gets the kill.
On the elephant,
experience off that, right? He's all 4 now. So not the
worst turnaround for them.
Kind of expect this Hoodwink to come down here since it's an empty lane top. And you were trying to dodge the Sunstrike, no Sunstrike. So the hold his resources mid.
TI not that
is playing
TI EWC
This is rough. Because Lornoff is not putting him in the matchup either. He's a little bit behind in CS.
ပြောက်တာကွာပွဲရတော့နည်းနည်းကြည့်ဖြစ်တယ်
And here comes the tree bottom.
အားရလို့ပွဲရတော့ဝင်ကြည့်အေး sunset ရှောင်းသွားပြန်ပြီဆိုပြီး snowball save ဒါခဏပဲရမှာ fade fire တော့ရှိတယ် fade fire ရှိတယ်ဟာညာဟုတ်တယ်ဗျာ fade fire တစ်ချက်
Thanks to Omar coming in with the bushwhack. Is it going to cost the Tusk his life? Maybe no. At stick charges. Okay, everybody from Nigma Galaxy manages to stay alive in what seemed like overwhelming damage.
စုမဲ့မပြန်သေးဘူးလားတေးချင်းနေပြီဒီကောင်
Another attempt at it. Misses his opportunity to go for the stun. Sumail being hemmed in from all corners here.
ကတ်တိုးလေးတွေဂျုကနေတာကတ်တိုးလေးတွေ
GH is dangerously low.
နေကမလုံးပြနေဆန်းဆိုင်နဲ့နှစ်ကောင်လုံးရှောပြီလားမသိဘူး
Okay, gets the kill on GH. Sumail takes a bit of damage for it as well. Another shackle shot to stay alive, Carry. He's going to be fine for now. Activates the invis to chase Sumail out of here.
Is he going to be able to get the right click? No. But this is a fate worse than death, right? You have to walk back to base, no boots. At least you have some wind run to get you through it. But now you can just tri-lane the Wind Ranger, and the Darkseer still can't enter top. Oh, is he going to nab him here?
He had the Sunstrike. If he was going to throw it, he would have.
I think this is like not even worth the resources, right?
Yeah.
Just
သူတို့အဲ့လိုမျိုးကဘာပြက်နေတယ်ပွားရှယ်လို့ဖီးက free ကွာ တောင်းရန် free နေတာအားတော့ခုနကောင်
Because again, you have to keep in mind,
အော်ဖက်နေပြီရှယ်လို့ဖီးက
there is nothing touching him.
There's some
top,
of we
so
be my
no matter what happens, you don't need to go for anything crazy right now if you're
ဖတ်ဆုံးအောင်ဆိုစားလိုက်ရရင်တော်တော်လေး
out of control.
ကျဲပဲဒီထဲကကျဲကိုနောက်ဘောက3800 4000ရောက်သွားပြီ
better ones to have.
Damn.
Still though, I mean, he is incredibly underleveled.
And you have to think about Wisdom Shrines here. If you're Nigma Galaxy, you cannot afford to lose both, so you're going to have to contest Aurora's here. You have to assume that the Darkseer one is lost. If Nightfall meanders his way over here, which he will. Aurora can contest both here. This is not that easy to win.
No, certainly not with the SF.
အမားပါရောက်လာတယ်ဟုတ်တယ်နှစ်ကောင်လုံးတော့ရတော့တယ် CRN chain
GH does manage to get the block in onto the Lion, getting that kill. Still fighting over this Wisdom Shrine. WS does not want to give it up, bouncing in and out of the shrine. And now with the reinforcements, Nightfall joining in.
ဒီလိုကေးတစ်ကောင်လည်းရသွားတယ်လုံးဝမလွယ်ဘူးဘာအကုန်ဆင်းလာ Shadow Beam ပါဆင်းလာတော့ပြေးရပြီ
heavily won this laning phase. There is no doubt about it. They've got the net worth lead. They've got the experience lead. This could snowball even further. As now Nightfall with this rotation still wants to make something happen with it. We'll see if he keeps the pressure on the bottom lane. He does. Goes to the kill on GH.
Stampy ရှိတယ်ဟော Stampy မတုံးတာ Stampy ရှိတယ် so crazy.
Blocked in. A little awkward. They can't actually make the commitment though. The Requiem is too big of a threat. Requiem goes out.
Snowball hold
pick up GH nicely times that. Is it enough though to bail out Sumail? It's just not. He's surrounded by
Stampy နဲ့ပြေးလို့မလွယ်ဘူး
And where is the help? Where is the Ember Spirit? Where is somebody to stop this Aurora team from running over them?
I mean, what help? What are you even doing down there? This SF is so big. This is not the hero you want to fight right now. They have the numbers advantage. Divide gets a little spaced top. But this is all just losing 4 runes, losing first blood, not being able to enter top lane, and this snowballing across the map.
တာဝါနာမှာဆိုပြီးပြန်လှုပ်လိုက်တော့ခေါင်းနဲ့တာဝါကိုခူးဆိုင်တာ
in this laning phase to play with. It's also hard to make the aggressive moves into the high points and living armor. Already 3 points up for Kaori. He's able to just stop any sort of aggressive gank attempt. It's also, I think, what's dissuading Lorna from making moves like, okay, I'm going to rotate to a side lane against this Centaur with living armor. I'm not going top. I don't have enough points.
Hello,
the moves aren't there unless he gets a really nice power.
Now, DOTA 2 အဲ့ဒါတော့ DOTA 1 ပေါ့ DOTA 2 trend နေရအရင်က
it could have just been even worse.
event လေးလာ
You'd rather just get your levels, get your
အခုတော့ event တစ်ခုခုလာလို့ရှိရင်ဟို
power rooms and try and salvage
ရိုး DOTA game ကိုဆော့ပြီးတော့ဟို item set တွေပေးတဲ့ဟာတွေပဲဖြစ်နေ event တွေ
Him trying to complete the urn.
ဟိုလို boss down ရတာတွေပါမရှိတော့ဘူး
It's going to be a
ဒါကြီးကမလုပ်ပြီးတော့
Yeah. That's just going to
Lucian
be the
Tagare
Broker is
game.
going to
boss down
faster,
game.
but this is a big smoke move. It has to land on the SF.
Right,
Can't
low
just
beat
get
up.
just a train protector, but that is looking like they're going to get the bushwhack dust.
တကောင်ရပြီ
secures
တ
the
ကောင်ရ
kill,
ပြီ
but the SF is on the run.
6ကောင်ဗျာ
They were positioned well to tank that gank.
hero ကမပြတ်ဘူးတွေ့လား
Just hit bottom tower. If he just lingers up here, does a little jungling.
ရှုံးနေတာရှုံးရမယ်နေကမှာ hero တော့
Gonna
ကြီး
stay up here. They're hitting mid tower right now, so somebody has to respond to that pressure mid. Helm Creep hitting the bottom tier 1 as well. Dark Troll Summoner for WS. So both tier 1s being assaulted. And it's gonna force Nigma Galaxy to respond somewhere here.
Man, Dark Troll Summoner is such a dream pickup.
Oh yeah.
In this situation.
Sentry မရှိဘူးဟိုက
Bushwhack attempted.
Okay.
Very
Knife
tough to
for
get this
ya,
kill
knife for
because
ya
of
law.
Requiem.
Oh,
GH is gonna try and
snowball.
force it out of him. Snowball pick up
Me
grabs the creep.
I shall see that.
Puts that ion shell right on top of Nightfall. And finally lets loose the Requiem, and it's the death of GH as a result. But they get a turnaround kill. It's going to be the Lion dying. As the Bushwhack plus ion shell Centaur creep gets the kill.
Yeah, SF Illusion. Hitting hard, honestly. He's already so strong in this game.
1-1 trade. ရှယ်တော့ပြင်းရလာမှာစိုး
Gotta
ကွာ
watch the
နော်
other
ဒီကောင်
lanes,
လေး
though. Bottom tower died, Centaur's pushing in, Invoker pushing mid, Hammer's flying out. This is a siege creep. You're giving up a lot of objective power to try and look for this SF kill.
GH not shy whatsoever. TP.
ဒီကမေးတော့ဆိုဒီခါပြန်ပေါ်လာမေးသွားမှာဆိုလို့
Tornado. That's enough. There
Cô thiên là
are
bia.
no coming out from those two with the snowball already used and no
Oh,
punch. Ooh, that
nice.
is a dead shot there from Omar as he gets his level 6 a little earlier than the Dream Protector or Lion.
And they're bringing the Centaur top to defend this. It will guarantee the tower lives, but it does put WS in kind of a
အခုနောက်ပိုင်းဝါချီတယ်ဘာဖြစ်နေရလဲ
but he's going to be
ထပ်
dead
ပြီး
on the
သွား
map
နေ
for a
ကြ
little bit.
တခါအိုက်တယ်ဟဲ့
That said, he is just going
ကြ
straight
ည့်လိုက်ဘာမှဓာတ်ကားတွေပါလည်းမလာဘူးပိုက်တွေပါဆိုလည်းမထည့်ဘူးဘာလို့ဘာမှမထည့်ဘူး
super juicy if you can get there
Happy.
uncontested.
ကိုနေ့ကလည်း
You just become an
ဗါလေ
absolute
Saber Light
monster at that 30-minute mark.
ဟတ်တန်းသွားနေတာလေဟက်ကြီးစုပြီးတော့ပုတ်ပြီးရှော့သွား
Well,
Meter
that is
ဖြစ်နေ
not
တာ
terribly
ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဟာ
inspiring watching Samael try and focus fire at
ဟိုကြိုက်သွားတယ်
Tom creep and failing to get the
မာကြီး
kill.
ပါလို့ရ
The sad thing is, this top lane just got conceded instantly.
အခုချိန်မှာဓာတ်စီယာတို့အမ်ဘာတို့နဲ့အဲ့လိုဗဒယ်5ဖို့အတွက်ပိုက်ထည့်ပြီးတာပုံမ
All
ကော
the
င်း
attention went into his lane. And he's not a hero that can
Seen
just
that, yeah.
recover in the jungle quickly, which was a wise idea from Aurora, right? Like, they're not trying to overhunt this Darkseer in the jungle. They go to the Wind Ranger lane. A hero you can punish, make his
You
life
wanna try
miserable,
Amazon
and now
or-
all of a sudden all three
Go
cores are
there.
now behind.
ဖြစ်နေနေ
Not
ဒီ
a
လိုပဲ
bad
ကေး
idea.
လို့ရမှာတ
It's
ကယ်ဗဒယ်
looking
ချလို့ရှိရင်ဟိုဘက်က OG ရယ်
good for
Requiem
them as
ရယ်
well.
Invoker စပယ်တွေရယ်ဗဒယ်ကြရင်ဆောင်းရမ်းတည်တာ
Denies an
ဒီဘက်
illusion.
ဓာတ်စီယာတ
Good
ကောင်ပဲ
play
ရှိတာ
from
တကယ်တွက်ကြ
Makoto.
ည့်ရင်ဗ
He's
ဒယ်
the
ချ
fourth
ဖို့
to
อ่ะ
deny it. Meanwhile, WS is putting
Hero
pressure on that
quad.
mid lane with the Helmadom creep that
သူတို့ဒီ hero ကရှစ်ကောင်ရတယ်ဆိုတာတော်တော်ကစားအားနဲ့စော့တာ
at
လို့
this point.
And you got to remember that top tower that they saved by putting the Centaur up there, it's getting
ဒီလိုပဲကေးလို့အဆင်ပြေတာဗဒယ်တကယ်ဆိုင်ခက်လိမ့်မယ်ရှယ်လိုဘီနာကိုကတ်ဖို့အရန်ခက်သွားလိမ့်ဒီမစ်ဂိမ်းလောက်မှာ
for Nigma Galaxy.
အဲ့မစ်ဂိမ်းကိုကြော်သွားပြီး
defending the whole
ဝင်းရင်း
map.
ကြ item တော်တော်ထောင်သွားပြီးရှယ်လိုဘီနဲ့ level တန်းဆိုရင်တော့
And this is kind of
တစ်မျိုး
dream
ပေါ့နော်
position
အဲ့ဒါတော့မှ
for Dream
Invoker
Protector. Specifically, like,
ပြန်
they've
နေသေးတယ်
taken the safe lane tower, he's pushed aggressively down there. So he's not only farming out this bottom lane, but he's also
ဒီဘက် hero
protecting
နဲ့
the
ပြက်
SF from smoking.
အေး
It's
ဟုတ်
really
တယ်
annoying
ဟုတ်
to
တယ်
go and kick this guy out. And he can get some nice items in this
ကြည့်တ
game.
ယ်
Nice shot. Another one lands from Omar. It might just be enough to kill the Lion, and it
Ooh,
is. Stampede
nice
comes in
kick.
too late.
Nice
Why
uppick up
Lama?
there. Need to find
လုပ်ပြ
some
နေပြီ
extra freebies in this game.
ကိုကောင်
You're
ရှိ
still
ပြီတာကြီးတို့
stronger
ကိုကောင်ရှိပြီနောက်တော့ဘယ်လောက်လို့လဲ17ကောင်12
Like,
ကောင်
that's just the spell power that this Darkseer lineup brings. So yeah, you're behind on net worth, but it's
14
not as if
ကောင်
you
လို့
can't
လေ
find plays or fight here. You're
14
very
ကောင်ဘယ်လို
strong
နေ
if
ပြ
you
ည့်
can
ပါ
find
လဲ
some isolated supports.
I mean, this combination, I think, is one of the deadliest in the early game. The Ember Spirit Hoodwink combo.
Oh yeah.
Slight chains into a sharpshooter. I mean, it's so much damage and so easy to set up.
And Vessel's done. So Lornat's going to TP base, get Vessel, come back out on the map. If he gets Ion Shelled with some Vessel charges, he's a threat against anybody in this game.
ရှယ်လို
for
ပြ
a
ရ
long
ရာရှာကာရ
time.
ထဲ
So
မှာ
the window's still open for Nigma Galaxy to pull
အော်
this mid game back.
ကယ်ရီမလားဒီကောင်
And they did
စပယ်တိုင်းနဲ့
stabilize
ဆော့
the
မှာ
map a
လား
little bit here.
Does mean that their
Yasha
best
Kaya
answer to
Bima.
that is Makoto with the tornado.
ရာရှာကိုမတာဆိုင်ပြန်ပြောင်းတာရကိုဘာလုပ်အေး OG သုံးတယ် Sun Strike ရှောတယ်ဗျာ
Strike. That was a lot of hate being directed the way. And you could understand why. 14-minute Wisdom Shrine is about to spawn, and they could take this off-lane tower at the same time. This is going to be one fell swoop from Aurora. Heavy damage done to Nigma Galaxy.
I like that move. Not a move you're going to read that well because Centaur's just been sitting up here the whole time. Like, that's not the lane you expect the gank to come from. And you get a big bounty at the end of it with the double Wisdom Shrine. Aurora
အဲ
just
Wisdom
being
တွေက
very
နှစ်ခု
efficient.
နှစ်ခု
They're
ရ
not
နေ
trying
တယ်
to force
14မိနစ်
anything
လည်းနှစ်
crazy.
ခု
They
ပဲ
recognize
9
the
မိနစ်
skill
တော့
they
လည်း
have,
နှစ်ခု
the
ရ
start they've had.
experience လည်း
They're
ကွာ
just
နေ
making
ပြီပေါ့
a couple small good moves here or there. Yeah, you bled some supports.
နောက်
but
ဘောကတော့
overall,
3K
they've held all their towers. They've taken some towers, and they're
3K
utilizing that
စ
space
ပြက်
well.
နေပြီဘာရကိုကတော့သွားပြီးနေ Guardian တော့သွားပြီးနေမစိုးအောင်
You don't want to overplay your hand into all the spell
Guardian
power
လောက်နဲ့
here.
ခံထား
Like,
လိုက်
you
ရ
just run into Nigma Galaxy.
ရှယ်လိုပြ
They
စပယ်တိုင်း
have
ဆော့
a
နေ
decent
အာ
shot
လီ
of
ဘိုင်း
winning that fight.
ပြီးမှသူအဲ့လို physical ဟာလေးပြန်ပေါင်းပြီးထည့်မယ်တဲ့အာလီဘိုင်းမှာဒီကောင်မန်နာလောက်တာတို့
Like this.
နည်းနည်းဟိုပြန်လိုက်ချပေးချင်တာတို့ကြောင့်လားမသိပုံမှန်ဆိုရင် M1 နေဒါမှမဟုတ်လဲ Dragon Lance ပေါ့နော်အဲ့လိုတွေနဲ့ fan တာ
And
များ
if
တယ်
they can
နော်
actually
Zero Fee
get
နေ
to a full blink dagger on the Lion.
ဟောနော်အာလီဘိုင်းနဲ့လိုက်ကြုံပေးအောင်ပါ
Early, The free farm cores that they have, all that's left is really just the initiation.
And what do Nigma Galaxy have to look at? Centaur top. They're going to make a play on him.
A hard kill.
Really tough kill.
And they're not going to get it easy. He already retreats back
behind
the
That's
tower.
got
Nothing they can do about
If you can kick him out of lane and pressure the tower back, that's worth it in its own right. They'll bring the Ember up here.
This tower has gone from, it was like 200 HP, now over half health.
Buys you a lot of time in this game. Does. Keeping your towers alive with Invoker, always the dream.
I assume you heavily favor Aurora for late game?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be hard for Sumail to scale into the ultra late here. Possible. Require some sick teamfight execution.
Mirror leading stun on GH. Well, the Requiem is still a problem for Nigma Galaxy. The SF is too big that they can't quickly kill him. And so he's always sitting there ready to go with the Requiem if you try and commit on one of his allies.
You also have to think about overgrowth here. If you're Sumail, you can't run in super aggressively before you have a Dispel. You get overgrowth, you're just dead in the water.
Right.
So you have to keep these big ultimates in mind. You do deny the finger charge on Mirror.
Something.
It always feels good to get those
An even kill score of 99, but Aurora still holding that 3,000 lead from the very successful laning phase.
They expected to crush lanes with this lineup as hard as they did. For Nigma Galaxy here. They're going to get to play mid-game with this lineup that is designed to run them over in the mid-game. Is it going to be harder because of how rough the lane is? Yeah, sure. But honestly, you can't really think about that. You just have to get your items and go. Especially if you can get on top of Invoker. If they can ever just start a fight by ransacking Makoto, like trapping this Invoker in shards or vacuumers lane, it's going to look a lot more one-sided than the net worth would appear.
Honestly, it feels like Nigma Galaxy. I think they've done some really good spell casting.
It looks solid,
that's the only thing that has saved them from this game just completely running out of control.
I agree. Like, even in the fights they're losing because they're behind in this early game, they had solid spell casting. They had good snowballs, nice shackles landed, some good interrupts. This you should say, well, maybe we should save a stun there or something, but at least you get the Invoker back to base. This was a nice pick-off. Like, they're not playing poorly. It's just what happened in that first minute was such a disaster. You got to salvage it.
Oh. That's why I got
what do you think about WS's build?
Yeah,
I personally am a bit torn on it. I feel like this is a game where a fast blink dagger would really help out. Because you aren't going to get a fast blink on Lion. And it would set up the SF and Invoker for more kills in fights. Simultaneously, if he just and gets super fat and he gets to Aghanim Scepter late game, it feels like that's a unbeatable combination for Nigma Galaxy, right? Like the SF, every single team fight can be thrown apart. Like, what do you do as Win Ranger?
This is the lower risk route, whereas I think the Blink Dagger is a little higher risk. Potentially you run the game over faster, but this hard is just always going to farm fast. It's always going to be an issue for a lot of their spell damage. It's just going to be a huge HP sink, and it's going to make your Crimson better. It's going to get you to an Ags better.
Right.
You're going to scale way better. I don't mind it here. Like, this build is pretty nasty when it works out, and it is working out right now. If you didn't have the scale before, you definitely have it with this hard set though. Like, no question. He is going to be an absolute monster in this game. And it is flying out. Like, it's done here at the 18-minute mark.
Crazy, crazy fast timing.
3,000 HP.
What do? You
vessel charges.
Raw HP is a huge problem right now. Stampede going to be put to use. Focus fire on the Treant Protector. Requiem gets thrown out, trying to push back this Ember Spirit. While Omar gets chased down by a Centaur who cannot be rebuked.
He is just going ham. Instantly finds two. And you just farm so fast with his build. Double edge. Early shard as well. And that just gets its value ramped up super quickly.
I mean, he's also pretty damn fast with no boots. 380 movement speed because he has so much strength off an early hard build like this.
He's a problem. And we still need vessel charges for Lorna. He's had this item for a while. Unable to do anything with it because you just can't find that initial kill.
Wait. Ah, vacuum
violence. The Centaur will win here, but of course he had a little more health.
vacuum ဆွဲမိသွားတေးလောက်တယ်
And you can see Aurora's game plan. They're just parking the Centaur at the point of attack.
နောက်ကအဲ့မှာ fight ကြီးသွားပြတ်ပြီ
Everybody else
စ
is fine. You have
2K ပဲ
SF
တိတ်
farming
အိစားမရှိ
the
ဘူး
map.
ဖြည်းဖြည်းပြတ်နေ
That is the dream.
Frankly, I'm a little bit surprised that Nigma
ကိုရီးယား
Galaxy
23
aren't
က
further
နည်းနည်းရေးစားကြီးပြီ
behind. Seems like net worth wise, they're
ခု
still
ချိန်
kind of keeping
ဘတ်တဲ့တပွဲလောက်
within
ရှုံးကြီးလိုက်ဒီကောင်လေး
striking
ဟီးရိုးတက်လို့လုံးဝမရ
distance.
တော့
Decent job.
တေးကြတယ်အဲ့ဒါ
Maintain their position in this game.
ဆန်ထရီဘာညာ
but
ပါတော့ပါတယ်ပေါ့
they lose one team fight.
အဲ့သူတို့ဆန်သူတို့ observer ကိုမမြင်ဘူးသေးပြီလေစနိုးဘောနဲ့ပြေးဆွဲမဲ့ကောင်
Shackle shot doesn't quite last. They have the focus.
No one has seen it go. ဖားပြောင်းလိုက်တယ်သွားပြီ
allows the separation there, and it's the supports who are going to pay the price on Nigma Galaxy. Both of them will go down here. Finishing up with the deafening blast. WS trying to chase in. Stampede goes off some ale. His win run. He's trying to get away and will manage to outrun. Meanwhile, Lornov commits for the kill, but it's caught. As WS turns around, hits him with the stomp, and now Samael came back in to try and help out Lornov. It costs him his life as well, 1 by 1. Nigma Galaxy will lose 4 heroes.
Now it's going to get concerning. That is not the fight you can afford to lose in this type of game. And we're already seeing some of the problems. The tree and sustain.
ကိုပြောနေတော့မှရှိသေးတယ်ဒီအချိန်မှာဗတ်တယ်အဲ့လိုရှုံးသွားရင်
Shadow Fiend multiple times and there's ways to bail him out. There's Stampede. There was a hurricane off of
တမူတာနှကောင်မရှိတဲ့အချိန်ဘာလို့ဝင်ကျုံးတာ
pushed him out here too at the very end.
နောက်မှချလဲရတယ်လေ
To
ကွာ
bail this SF out from the focus fire of Sumail. Way too hard to connect. That's the other issue. Sumail got tornadoed twice in this fight.
Yep.
He got deafening blasted in another portion. Like, what is he supposed to do? The spells are so good in this matchup.
GH gets baited by a Centaur into the big bad Centaur.
Yeah, this game's going to get out of control really fast.
မနေ့ကထက်တော့
This
ကောင်း
was
လာ
the
တယ်
issue with letting Aurora
Yeah,
get
they
away with
ပါတယ်လေ
the early game they did.
Yeah, they
This fight,
ပါတယ်
Centaur is going to be able
ကောင်း
to
တော့ကောင်း
position
လာ
so aggressively. He's such a big damage threat with Sunstrike to back him up. You have Invis, Tree, and Scouting.
ဒါပေမဲ့သူတို့ရဲ့ကောင်းတယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာ
He's gonna be up the map.
consistent
He
တိတ်
can
မ
set
ဖြစ်
stuff up. There's too many threats that you have to worry about right now. Octarine
Got an
overdubbed
idea.
Makoto, by the way. I mean, it's just something has to happen here for Nigma Galaxy, and it's going to have to happen.
ကိုကနိုင်ငယ်လားဆိုတော့
There's like
ကိုနိုင်ခြင်းနဲ့
Hydra
အနေထားတော့မနိုင်သေးဘူးအဲ့ဒါတော့သိကြ
Got to find a way to deal with this Centaur somehow.
အဲ့တော့နိုင်တယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ကိုနိုင်ခြင်းနဲ့အနေထားမဟုတ်
That
ဘူး
is the type of itemization.
ကိုတကယ်
where,
နိုင်ခြင်းနဲ့အနေ
It's
ထား
almost just YOLO. I hope we win the next
ပြောမှ
fight
ဆို
because otherwise I recognize
TI
this
လို
game is
level မှာ
looking screwed.
champion မဖြစ်သေးဘူးကွာအဲ့လိုမျိုးပြောချင်တာဆိုတော့မကျင်းနေသေးဘူး
Blink Dagger pickup, so
Now la-
Nigma Galaxy
now
we've
la
seen
Cambodia
in
threat
a
သွား
lot of these fights, it's hard for them, even when they can get
နော
some
က်လာ
spells on
TIB
the
ရနဲ့
SF,
လုံးဝ
to keep him there.
Cambodia
Llama,
2
Guardian Greaves getting off the overgrowth, but there's still Makoto cold snapping him to
ဒီပါပြီ
death. Tornado, Sunstrike, the
ကောင်းတယ်
finish
နော်
job.
မီကိုတိုတို
And even
Ah,
then,
they were
WS
tumbling
is
in
making
there.
a move on the Ember Spirit. They may not get this kill,
သွားပြီအဲ့9ကောင်ပဲ
but
ဖြစ်
the
သွား
fact
ပြီ
that they can just kick him out of this mid lane.
တော့အောက်ဘက်ထဲကြာလာကြီးအဲ့တကောင်ရပြီတကောင်ရပြီ ဟုတ်တယ်
He doesn't
ဟုတ်
quite
တယ်
get it. GH will finish the job. Quick little punch, snowball back down.
တ
Now,
ကယ်
shackle shot that
4 set တွန်း
lands.
ပေးလိုက်တယ်ကောင်းတယ်ကွာ
Catches carry in the
Oh.
back lines there. Does that give GH enough time? Stampede goes off, and he'll be run down by Nightfall.
Honestly, again, the spellcasting doesn't look half bad. You're just so far behind. You know, you deal 2,000 damage to Centaur there, he just absorbs it. Didn't get the vessel charge off that kill either because you had the remnant out. That's a little unfortunate for Lornov here. But at least able to find something. Get a little assist gold on the Wind Ranger. Try and get into a BKB. If you can get to Wind Ranger BKB, I think that is the time to strike in this game. So the Wind Ranger can commit into the fight against a lot
free
of things
fire
that
အ
for
ရန်
control.
လွယ်သွား
Try to find a big
အရန်
target.
လွယ်သွား
If
ဆို
you
အ
can
ရင်က
avoid the
လည်း
overgrowth, that would
ဖတ်
be
မပါ
huge
တဲ့
as
ဝါ
well.
ချီတွေကလည်း free fire ကလွယ်တော့လွယ်တယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဖတ်ပါသွားတော့ဘာဖြစ်သွားလဲဆိုတော့ level 2ရဲ့ချိန်လုံးပေါက် လဲသူအချိန်လုံးပေါက်ပြီးတော့ crit တွေရှင်းနေတော့ဖမ်းတဲ့ duration ကပုံမြန်သွားတယ်ကွာတအုပ်ကိုရှင်းရတာအရင်မြန်တော့တယ်တော့အဲ့ဒါတော့တွေ့တော့ crit ဆိုလဲဘတ်ရောတစ်ချက်တော့ပေါက်ပြီးတော့နှစ်ချက်သုံးချက်လောက်ဆိုရင်နောက်တစ်ကန်ကူးလို့ရတယ်ကွာတွေးရလည်းမရောဘူး ever တွေးရပြည့်နေအဲ့တော့ကောင်းတယ်နော်ဟာကအရင်က level 2ကပေါက်ချင်တယ်ပေါက်လို့မရဘူးတွေးရောတာအော်သွားပြီလေအော်လွတ်သွားသေးတယ်အမ်ဘာလွတ်သွားသေးတယ်
But WS hitting that stomp ruins GH. Sumail getting hit by the overgrowth combo from the back. Sumail is just finding no purchase in this game whatsoever.
No, it's impossible.
He has no game.
There's no way without BKB. Invoker's going to control you every single team fight. He has way too many spells that just ruin your day. Too many stuns in this lineup. Too many things to worry about.
He's calling, no?
And just kind of unlucky timing for GH as he goes into the impale.
Maybe why I'm over. Who can't do it? Look at it. Let's say like how that. We look at it.
It's an Aegis for Nightfall.
Yeah. In early Aegis. Centaur SF, I mean, they have some high ground hitting, that's for sure.
Oh, they're not going to mess around this game. They can absolutely just send it.
Stop
nice
on
stop.
two. WS still catches GA and gets a +1.
Okay.
Shackle shot with the SF kind of an awkward position. Give up his Aegis here. They would prefer not to lose it so early on, and they will not. Another one does not land. 4-stab TP away.
He's just going to go to base and heal as he finishes BKB. I would love to see an early shard for WS. I think when you have this kind of build up, it adds up a lot. It increases your damage in the early fight. You get a lot of HP off of it. Kind of surprised you just casually buy it here. I don't think you have to necessarily rush to some other item. Otherwise, I mean, you're critiquing extremely small points here, right? You probably buy
Think about buying a shard in this sort of situation. It's like, okay, but that could be a full-out plate mail. Right?
Sure.
Which is also, you know, like the heart, it's very value with the shard, but the armor is also very value when you have so much HP.
For sure, you want to get it off Tormentors too. He's probably thinking like, why buy it when I can get it for free?
That's true.
We'll see if Nigma Galaxy can get to their BKBs here. We'll open up some options for them. They're close to the Ember one. They are closing in on the a little bit. He's like, you know, 1,000, 200 off or so.
How they use those BKBs is going to be pretty tough. Right, because they can't just go in and pop it, otherwise they get overgrowth during their BKB.
For sure.
But if they don't pop it early, there's a chance they get Lion Hexed instant.
It's the Treant problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to smoke up here before those BKBs are done. Try and look for something even into the Aegis. Not a lot of good options here. Yeah, just gonna cut the midway. Yeah, this smoke was kind of doomed to fail, I think, unless you're just praying you run up the high ground and find a lion sitting there. I don't think much else would have worked out. For
The towers, but even still. With another wave coming in soon.
Wait, I saw you TV. Okay, what? Agent number
laying into it. What's the response? You can back wall him.
Now, what's the pay?
Tier 3 about to be sacrificed.
Trying to finish this Wind Ranger BKB. He's just so far away. And Alacrity Nightfall with Feast of Souls, some rally bonus damage, some living armor. That is a buffed up Shadow Fiend.
Now got time. I'm bad. BKB don't yawa. Hey, Hobby. Oh, yeah, agent are going with Lola.
Didn't find an easy kill anywhere.
No, lion, low, man. I'm a cut out regular and one Piao Bobby.
That'll do it.
Why Lama, Piao, Uji Chota, Obama. And I go why EMB net. No one say, Bayami. Where's no one say? Here's a Gabiania, I got Guram.
Nigma Galaxy having to go on the Shadow Fiend, and then in the very back, just sitting and waiting. You've got this
Invoker
able to just take his time whenever he wants. Shows up with the tornado meteor.
No, the whole buffet is set for him, right? He's been untouched this game. Did tank a sharpshooter and got kind of low, but no one else can go on him if you're controlling the Ember. And without BKB on Sumail, he cannot.
Aurora, hello, Necro 4 carry, Necro 4 mid. Hello, Gansari, that's all.
And the second your BKB is out, you just get focused down. Nigma Galaxy running out of options here in this game one. There's the Wind Ranger BKB. This is kind of the last hope to try and make something happen and turn this game right now.
23,000
like 3 and over
at 29 minutes. I mean,
very one-sided. Damn it, yeah, I'm 12, but
usually insurmountable. Going on the centaur, certainly not what they want. Want some other heroes to show. Surge timing on point there, getting away even under the hex.
That's a haste rune. That's a nice rune here.
Negro 4 that's here.
Means you can kind of search somebody else.
But they had
send all 3 cores in together with the BKBs. Try and find Invoker. I think that is the name of the game here. Somebody has to check Makoto. Can't overcommit on the front line here in the Centaur in the tree.
GH breaks the smoke. Costs him his life.
Break that smoke. Yeah.
Well, the good news is he's really low level, so he's only dead for 30 seconds.
That is true. Got the Sun, the Ember Spirit. Needs some help. Got a 4 staff. That saves him, and with the haste rune, he's going to try and chase him.
Hey, OG told BKB G right now.
And the punishment is always going to be there.
BKB G, Majiva win over them. Yeah, Lion is very she. He win me another one show. Hey, they me.
And Nigma Galaxy, they know they just can't get past this Centaur on top of the squishier heroes of Aurora.
He's just going in.
And now with a blink in, tries to kill Omar. Not going to happen. But also, nothing's going to happen to him in return.
What man? One man.
Catapult for some efficient damage here.
He really.
He doesn't want to go higher.
Nigma saw him, so I'm just hero.
He's in a
little game one. Hero
shackle, unfortunately, interference from WS and Kaori.
Carry you here, and then
Makoto's able to get the distance.
Oh, that's the actors got mighty. That's the actors who went to Jade. Carry you like the Irene, I told her him, Jade. Over around watching a tower of BU. Only came to hello.
Okay, an opening.
A whole lot more just a support. They're going to need to kill this core. Yes, that does manage to get caught in the bushwhack. The force staff gets him far enough away. Lauren being constantly stunned up by these cold snaps. They finish off the train protector. Managed to get a nice vacuum back into this wall once again with the shackle. Makoto, he ends up going down. Nigma Galaxy, they were on their last little bit of effort here. And it will be enough to win at least one skirmish.
I might get, they're going to get the Centaur too. Nightfall lingering around Shadowblade. No HP.
I mean, this is the kind of play that you make when you're 20. This is ridiculous.
The signature.
Teleport away, the Nightfall.
Yeah, he just had to drop the Nightfall in front of their face.
Of course.
His signature maneuver. Can't leave the fight without dropping it with the Swagger Fiend. They did save the melee barracks mid. 50 HP. They got the glyph off. Not the worst exchange.
Yeah,
considering the game state. Again, the spellcasting was pretty good on the stuns. They landed a sick bushwhack to pull that SF back in. Shackle landed on the Invoker, finally able to push through the front line as it breaks down a little bit. It costs you an Ember life at the start of that for the overgrowth, but somebody has to tank that. There's just nothing you can do about it. And honestly, Aurora, they could have just sat there and waited for the cooldowns, right? Like, they're so far ahead. But some life from Nigma Galaxy here as we see the potential of their lineup if they can get on top of these 2 damage dealers. You do threaten them. Blink Dagger for Sumail now, Blink Dagger on the Tusk. You have a little more gap close. If you can get some more Dispels to deal with the overgrowth, I think there are some pathways to win the fight. I mean, it's still super difficult, but this SF Illusion, if you can get the wall as well. It
get Ranger design.
Aghanim Scepter on Centaur. It's been pretty rare that they've gotten on top of the SF or the Invoker having that kind of hard save mechanism. I don't know what they do about that.
6កောင်လိုသေးတယ်50ရဖြစ်တော့ဖြစ်နိုင်50ရဖြစ်နိုင်
damage priorities
နေကမှာဘိုင်ဘက်နဲ့ချဘူဒါဖွင့်တာစခရင်မဲကြီးပေါ်နေပြီတဲ့ဘဲမှသွားမရဘယ်လိုလုပ်ရမလဲဘူဒါဖွင့်တာစခရင်မဲဆိုတော့
That's worth something here. And there's a Lotus for the Ember. So
And
there's
it's
your
already
dispel
been-
for him. Lorenov not too worried
ပြန်
about
ထောင်းကြည့်
the overgrowth anymore. Sumail still a little worried about it, but he has to go damage in a game like this.
Yeah,
As
there's
much
no
as you
other
can get.
option.
ဘူဒါတစ်ခုပဲဖြစ်တာလားအခြားဂိမ်းတွေပါဖြစ်တာလားအခြားဂိမ်းတွေပါဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ bro graphic ကတစ်ခု
To help
ဖြစ်
Sumail.
ဘူဒါတစ်ခုပဲဆိုရင်တော့အဲ့လို install ကြီးပြန်တွင်းကြည့်
WS shows up and immediately Nigma Galaxy have to scatter.
ဒီ info ကတော့ဟိုမှာမပါဘူးကွာ radiant မပါဘူးကိုနေ့ကို public မှာသွားဆော့တာ info က mid က
They'll
Website
always
and
try and put
Radiant.
the center on the front line and
Radiant
Nigma
လားခဲ
Galaxy
ကျဲ
to
တာ
go on him.
ခဲကျဲတာ
He has so
ခဲကျဲ
much
တာဆက်တ
armor
ယ်
with
ပြီးတော့
ice on
radiant
top
သွား
of
တ
it.
ယ်ပြီးတော့ရှီဘာကရဲ့ဟဲ့
44 armor.
အဲ့ပွန်
It's pretty disgusting.
Smoke's gonna break. WS not able to find that opening there. Nigma Galaxy's just a little bit too elusive for him.
And Roche will swap sides here. So if you don't take the fight right now as Nigma, it's going to go to Aurora's side and they'll probably force the issue.
Ornov jumping forward. Doesn't find anything.
Has an arcane rune, so he's not afraid to throw out some remnants right now. But he is down to 1. Little concerning if the fight breaks out.
Nigma Galaxy, the smoke is not going to move fast enough. At least not fast enough to catch the SF taking that tier 2, but if they were to continue to wrap all the way around, Shadow Fiend is actually separated from the team right now.
That's a pretty good obs. If Aurora back into this ward.
Yeah, Aurora right now are just playing on their own high ground ward.
There's those Ag
double
scepters.
lags, yeah.
Oh boy.
So now the Train Protector is going to join the Centaur in being just too big to fail.
ပြတောင်းမှရဝါရွာတီး
Ward scouting.
လွယ်တော့ Shadow Fiend ကိုဘယ်လိုမှတတ်လို့မရ
Nigma
တော့
Galaxy want to fight on. Could catch
ဘယ်လိုမှတတ်
Aurora
လို့မရ
off
တော့
guard. They have a gem on Lion though. Gotta go.
Hey,
Gotta go
baby.
now.
Kanamar
Don't ever.
managed to get the initiation. He's gone already.
ဒီတော့ဝါချီကိုဝိုင်းလုံးနေတယ်
down to about 2/3 of his health. Really not much of a threat. They
Ay,
do
hold
manage
it,
to
hold
get
it,
Miracle.
yeah.
Lornov has used
အဲ့
BKB.
ချောဝါ
It
အဲ့
actually
ချောဝါ
breaks
ခေုံ
Nightfall,
ပြ
but
တူ
thanks
တူ
to the
ပြစ်တာနဲ့
illusion,
သူ
the
နာ
ring
ကျင်
goes
တယ်လို့
out,
လို့တော့
pushing
ဖြစ်
the
တော့ဖြစ်
illusion
နေတယ်
away from Nightfall.
အဟီရိုကလေးဖြစ်နိုင်သေးတယ်လှုပ်ထားသားတို့အေးရှက်ကဲအဆူမင်း
Taking up these hits. Focus fire
BKB
put onto him.
ဟုတ်တယ်
He's
ဟုတ်တယ်
gonna see
vacuum
Nigma
ဟုတ်တယ်
back in. They got the Centaur. Carry.
နှ
The
ကောင်တော့ရ
giant
သွား
Train
ပြီ
Protector does manage to
အဲ
take
အင်ဗို
off
ကာ
the
တို့ဘာလို့
support
တတ်ဖို့
of
တော့စ
GA.
ပယ်ကတော့တိတ်တော့မကြမ်းတော့ဘူးကွာ
And starts
အမ်ဘာမှဟို
retreating.
မရှိဘူး
Somehow, Nigma
Fireman
Galaxy
နဲ့မ
managed
ကြမ်း
to
တော့
make not just a fair trade, but one that they're favored.
That was pretty good.
သိုးပဲ
And that
ဒီလို
ward
ကင်း
doing
နှ
a
ကောင်
lot
လဲ
of
ဘယ်လောက်ကျန်
work.
၄
You're
ကောင်
able to
၅
see
ကောင်
the
6
back
ကောင်
line.
9
You
ကောင်ကျန်သေးတယ်
instantly jump it. You have BKB, you have Lotus for the overgrowth. Overgrowth
အိမ်မက်ဆမ်းမလို့ရ
dispelled by the
ဒီလိုက
Wind
ခု
Ranger
နှစ်ကောင်
BKB, so it works out for Sumail. He's able to lay into a big target.
ခုနှစ်ကောင်
Aurora's just not
ခု
really
နှစ်
connecting
ဝါ
on
တစ်
anyone
တဲ့
with their big
အတူကြောင့်
damage
ဒီကောင်
deals. They
နာ
kill
လားမ
the
သိဘူး
score
နောက်မှချူရ
instantly. This should be a good start for them. But what
ဝါ
happens
ဝါတိ
afterwards?
တာ
The front line is super
ဘာ
separated.
မဟုတ်ကွာဒီကောင်အစိုးရနဲ့တွင်း
And
တွင်း
you're
နဲ့နဲ
looking-
နေတာ
You spend a lot of time just hitting this Ember, who's always going to get out of that situation. Nightfall getting beat up by himself.
Hey,
on
no?
the
What?
wall. And I think that's the first fight we've seen where this Invoker just didn't have a clear purpose. Makoto's just kind of
သူ
stuck
မရ
between
data less တဲ့
two
ရ
halves
တော့
of these fights,
အဲ့ပဲလို့
unsure of who he's supposed to target. There isn't a clear control mechanism going out that's locking some hero under his DPS. Got really awkward for him really fast and kind of just decided to bail. Nigma Galaxy, signs of life here with a great ward placement, great smoke angle. Looking to do it again, giving an obs to the Ember Spirit who can go in on that front line. Oh, pass back, never mind.
Did Nigma Galaxy not get the gem?
It got recovered by the Tree Protector.
Oh.
Currently on Kaori as you will. Yeah, they really need a gem in this game.
Yeah.
There's Invis SF, Invis Tree.
အဲ့လိုကြီးတက်သွားအနေအများကြီးဒါဖားပြောင်းမိသွားလို့ကတော့ ဒီကေပြီးတော့ကြီးဝင်ရသွားတယ်ဟုတ်ပြီဟုတ်ပြီအမရှိပါကန်နဲ့ဥမာချယ်ရိုဖီကလည်းငလဲကွာလက်စီအောင်ရှောင်းတယ်တဲ့လားချယ်ရိုဖီကရှောင်းနေတော့ဖီကရှောင်းမယ်โอเคမနာမရှိဘူးဝေါ်
Here comes Aurora back into play here. Divine does not get the Nightfall illusion and dies for his efforts.
Might have not mattered there. The position from Aurora was probably too
Nightfall
good.
ကောင်းနေဓာတ်စီအောင်ရှောင်းတာ
Getting mana burned at these times.
ဘောပေးမထောင်ကြတာတက်ပြေးနေ
Aurora, really good high ground position on a ward. That's going to be a tough fight for Nigma Galaxy. They find the tree. It's a little something. But then able to push through. Gem was recovered by the Centaur.
ဆိုတော့18កောင်33កောင်ပေါင်90ကတော့ပြည့်သွားပြီကျေတို့ပြင်ကအခုတည်းအန်ထက်ဖားပြောင်းနေရှော့ပြီ
Just not fair, man. Conjure
no
catalyst.
fair no fair
Disgusting. Ags for Lornoff now. He's honestly played a sick game, I will say, from the position they were in. I feel like he's pretty much played this Ember to perfection. He's doing as much as he can because he has to be the guy who goes in first. Yeah. He has to hold his BKB for the exact right moment. He had to buy a second Dispel for Overgrowth, and he probably has to find at least one kill off going in while being the target of all the spells and control. It's just not easy. Gem on Sumail now. They finally purchased one. This is a big item for Nigma Galaxy. They need the vision control. He does have Daedalus too. He's doing some damage. Got the bobble. Time to bobble up into the ultra late.
Meanwhile, Aurora getting some luxury. They have bots.
ကိုကောင်လေးကလူတက်မှာမဟုတ်တာဝါကြီးပဲထိုင်ပြသွားတော့အေးဂျစ်ကြီးနဲ့ဆိုကြောက်စရာမလို
Nightfall and WS both have more items and they know what to do with at this point.
No Satanic on this Shadow Fiend though, so he can die twice. If you get a good wall illusion with some control. Nobody is killing that wall illusion except for him, probably? I don't know, maybe Makoto can bring it down if he like Alacrities himself or some weird idea, but that's not really what you're looking for here. So if Divide can land a good vacuum wall with the SF in it, fight could open up pretty quickly. And Aurora a little tentative to go the high ground here.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Not as confident to just park that Centaur on the front line anymore.
They've shown that they actually can
kill
WS
ပေးရနော်ဒီကမှာအရင်မထိုးတက်ဘူးကွာတဲ့လောက်ပြတ်နေတာတော့
Especially with Daedalus now.
လမ်းတော့လန့်နေတယ်
top of him with Daedalus going through and
အရှယ်ဖြစ်တယ်တာဝါလာမပြည့်ရဘူးဟောဝေါ်ခင်းမှာကြောက်တယ်
crucial that GH has the Vlads for him as well. Amps up the damage, but also gives him the lifesteal he needs against the return.
For sure.
ဟုတ်ခံပြီ
Lead off on the
Oh, 4-man vacuum.
Big vacuum with the wall.
Nightfall ရှော့သွားပြီ BKB ကူတောင်းရှိသေးတယ်
It gets burst down. He comes back though with Nightfall reviving.
နောက်မှာဘိုင်းရှော့သွားတယ်
He's going to try and focus down Nightfall. Put him in the cart though. WS keeps the SF alive and runs him out of here. Curry right on the front lines will hold back these heroes where he can with the overgrowth. He will die for it. Meanwhile, the snowball is actually going to chase in here. GH dies for that, but they got the vision on Nightfall. Lornoff's going to chase
in.
He went too far. He spins side up, and he will die for it. Samael here a bit too late. Beautiful tornado. Catch the vacuum on two, but the tornado stalled them up. They couldn't put the damage on Nightfall.
He's trying to commit.
Nightfall.
Focus fire on anybody. He's trying to finish off Nightfall. Can't quite do it. Now spouts Makoto. Focus fire into the trees. And a big crit. He dies before he can get a single one of these core kills.
If they could have all been there together, that's a full team wipe. Instead, Nigma Galaxy, what turns out to be such a great start.
ဘယ်ညာတကယ်ပြစ်မယ်ဆိုတဲ့အချိန်မှာဂျန်သမားမရှိတော့တာ
so the invoker back into that fight and just clean house. They're even going to get Divide trying to deal with this banner.
အားလုံးမောက်သွားပြီတကူကောင်နဲ့ကိုရီကိုတက်တက်မဲ့အိမ်မက်တွေပေးပြီးတော့ရိုက်ချိုးသွားပြီ
vacuum wall. Well, you do get the gem on the courier, and it's something, but I feel like you're going to lose your base here.
ခက်စီရလေးကတော့လုတ်ပေးချပါလေပုံမှန်
be the game.
vacuum wall
Already hitting the tier 4s, not bothering with megas, and that will be the death blow. 45 seconds left.
2 minute တော့ကြော်တယ်ကွာပေးတဲ့ over တယ် duration နဲ့ over
5 in that vacuum. It really looked like he got 5. He got at least 4.
I think it was just 4.
He might have missed the line, I guess, but goddamn, that almost just turned this game.
တန်းလေးမှာ asset ကိုတင်ထားတဲ့အချိန် wall ဆွဲခံရတယ် SF အရေး ပြောတယ်မထွက်ဘူးလားမသိ
that bad in a weird way, you know.
ဟုတ်တယ်
They didn't look bad.
အဲ့ချိန်မှာ untargeted ပဲ
They were
ဖြစ်နေ
just
ရ
so
တယ်
far behind.
ပြောမရအောင်ထွက်တယ်ထွက်မယ်မ
Impossible.
သိ
You lose 4 runes,
Thank
you
you,
lose first
Marley.
blood to a shadow fiend. You just don't even get to play your offlane at all.
Yeah.
You're in the hole so deep, and we can tell like with this draft.
ကြီးကြီးပဲဘယ်ပါလာနေဒီဘက်လီဂါဒီကောင်เนี่ยဝဲနိုင်တာ
This feels like up your alley.
Nope.
Don't. I thought
ဒီဝဲလည်းတည်ကြပြီဝဲ liquid လားliquid ကတော့ဝဲပြီးသွားရောနောက်တစ်ဝဲထင်တယ်ဝဲနောက်တစ်
you're saying that about
Is this
him?
what you're gonna do to me the whole tournament? We're just gonna go back and forth doing these dad jokes at each other?
When have we not done that, Mike?
Well, I haven't until I became a father. You've always done that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You
'Cause it's fun.
You definitely don't have kids. I unless there's someone one of them out there somewhere.
No.
No.
No, there's none.
No.
Not at all. I'm doing my part.
play time ဆိုတာ score fee ပါတယ်ဟာ
Get the shard up. Schofield instantly flying with a jetpack.
Schofield,
Instantly
Schofield.
cancels for fun. Jetpack
ဒီ
cancel.
ကောင်တစ်ကောင်လည်းသိတယ်ကျန်တဲ့ကောင်လည်းမသိ
It's
ဘူး
the Rocket Man himself. Smoke out L1.
I love that song.
Which way will they go? I would sing it if we wouldn't get copyrights, right?
Don't do it, John.
I
That's
do
a
not
yard.
subject the viewers
A
to
yard,
such horrendous content.
Mirage ရယ်
I like your voice, John.
Thank you, Mikey. You can say
Respect.
something else when we're off stream, though. You don't have to pretend.
L1. Holding on through the mid lane. They have a 4-man smoke coming at them from P time. P time slowly but surely. Oh, here we go. They're going to find themselves a clockwork to get things started. P time. No, they will lose
ကြောက်
Schofield.
ချက်ဗျာမင်္ဂလာပါ
Nice little start for L1.
ပါပါ
Mid tier 1 though, just ending up dropping. But L1 pretty happy with that. Gets a clockwork.
Yep.
That'll be all they can really secure, but they'll take it.
Yeah, it's something, and they open up Roshan somehow. Really quick.
အမျိုး
turn.
draft တွေနဲ့ဆော့ရင်နိုင်တော့တယ်
Really
ဒီ
quick.
ကမှာ
Good
game 2 ကိုအဲ့လို
decision.
Necro 4တို့ Enigma တို့
Oh, Schofield! He's got it! Schofield's got it! Right in the nick of time.
တပိုင်းလာမှာဆော့နိုင်တယ်
Nothing allowed to be
Enigma
curtailed.
ဆော့နိုင်တယ်
Show
သူ
them
မေးရတဲ့
some
Necro
mercy,
4 ဆော့
John.
နိုင်တယ်
Oh, Schofield, he's been on target this
အဲ့
time
လိုမျိုး
around,
combination
Tony
နဲ့
Frank.
ဆို
He's
ရင်
gonna
တော့
drop Reaper
game
side,
2
not
နိုင်တော့
enough
တယ်
to kill off Snowy, but eventually he will fall and respect will follow him. Oh, it's just horrible, isn't it, John?
That is insane. The buyback into that moment. I mean, man, can you talk about the timing being perfect? Insanely perfect timing coming out from Schofield. And that was L1 team. That for L1 team, that would have been like a comeback Aegis, right? Like that's the kind of Aegis where you start to take some more towers, you equalize the map, you shrink down that net worth difference. Now it's just, it looks like it's spelling the end of the game. High ground being siege across the board, every single lane up receiving some pressure. And with
Yeah,
points on
yeah.
hand, this does not take too long. Mid already gone, bot.
တောင်းနေစီမှာတော့ဆော့
Something we're doing. Well, that's a strike. Like your offlaner just refuses to offlane, basically. I mean, look at the score. It just tells the story, right? Like the SF is just completely uncontested. This is a first pick SF again. We've seen it yesterday with Wits. Like he went what 17-0. This is 6. It's not okay. Like the hero's picked on 8. Everybody knows it's coming. It's picked and it doesn't die once in the entire game.
I see nothing wrong here.
Okay. I think it's incredible. I mean, obviously, props to Nightfall for playing such a stellar game. I also think his item build was very cool. I think, you know, as a Dark Stage spammer, this is probably what I would hate to see the most on SF is like Yashakaya, he plays off his ulti, so your wall it's a little bit relevant, but obviously not as much as if you'd play versus a Daedalus, you know, your classic Butterfly and whatnot. The Pike to reposition. Pike is also really cool with SF. We've seen it happen this game where he just spikes in. It turns out to be exactly the range of getting on top of the enemy hero to click a really nice ulti. Very, very cool build, you know, and stellar gameplay from them. Nigma did look quite competitive given the start of the game, though. That was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the way this game also started, not because of the runes, because of the first blood as well, it did give them an option to, you know, make all these right moves in the first 5 to 10 minutes. So I wanted to highlight some of the moves that they did make, considering the fact that Treant, he is kind of free to roam around, seeing that Shadowfiend cannot be contested, seeing that Darkshire is going to be jungling, and maybe if we could pull up the clips to see what we're talking about, because these early engagements haven't been in favor of Nigma Galaxy. It starts to bleed out. It's just way too much of these like early engagements that you are playing with a massive deficit. And yeah, we can take a look at some of these where they are getting outnumbered. They are bringing in this Treant Protector who's free to roam around, and also extra bit of items like just these casual small items that they're buying. And Nigma Galaxy is trying to strike back, but it's not enough. You can see that they already have a neutral item. They have Ash Legion Shield, which is 160 HP on pretty much everybody. This fight, they don't get any kills out of it, but Nigma Galaxy, they are running out of region. They're running out of resources, and I think at this point it might be just a better option to die, because you are going to be needing to punch back and you don't have anything. So they don't die here, but there's also going to be another clip a couple of minutes later where they were trying to contest a rune. It didn't go too well for them, and then Nightfall, he's the one who's making the move, of course, with the help of the Sunstrike in the previous one and in this one as well. Nightfall, he feels very comfortable. We've seen what Shadowfiends can do once they start to play slightly more active, and then the Sunstrike, the pretty much bringing in the numbers plus the Stampede. The value out of this spell is through the roof when you have Shadowfiend. We've seen it many times in this game where he's free to run away from potential Darkshire ulti if they initiate on top of him. Any kind of a stun, anything that they drop on top of him, Stampede's gonna get him out of trouble.
And all of this is a consequence of what happens on Nigma's offlane, right? And
yes.
on Aurora's safe lane, because this Treant is free to pull as many times as he wants, so he gets the neutral shield very early in the game. There's a massive impact. He's gating back and forth non-stop. SF also gets to gate, so now you're losing your safe lane on top of your offlane. Your supports are starving, therefore they can't really connect to your Ember. You know, it's like, it's the classic snowball butterfly effect, you know, whatever you want to call it in Dota. It's like, it sounds like nothing, but you go to your lane or you check a boundary rune, you die first blood, it's going to massively impact what happens 10 minutes later. And that's the beauty of the game, but also the complexity of it.
Well, all things considered, the way Nigma Galaxy was still able to play the game later on, it seems very impressive with the horrendous start they had. And that means we might be in for an epic game number 2. Of course, we'll get to that later. First, we're gonna check in with BSJ and Effie.
Thank you, Shiver. As we are waiting for Nigma Galaxy to give a little bit more of a fighting shot in Game 2, we have another exciting series that Mira and I here are going to be working against. Tournaments, but still getting top 12 is respectable, and so far this tournament they're 2-0. How are you feeling about their chances against P-Vision today?
I mean, they looked really good yesterday, but they're against a monster right now in P-Vision. P-Vision didn't have the best earlier season, but with the addition of Coach Puppy and a little bit of like blending into each other, learning each other, now they're looking like one of the top contenders for this whole tournament season, EWC and TI. So if there is a team to beat, it would be this one for Vici to prove themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for people at home. It's hard to keep up with all the roster changes going on in the China regions. I feel like it's sometimes a shuffle of a lot of the well-known household names. And so Xingqiu joined their team in March, as well as Bach earlier this year in January. So they've got quite a star-studded lineup. I always love watching XM in the mid lane.
ကောင်းတော့လာဆွဲနေရဟုတ်ကြားပါတယ်
It takes a toll on your mind, but I guess you got to keep going, to be honest, and have support, I guess, from family and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's a great answer. So yesterday you guys won 2-0 against L1, but you've got Aurora up next. Fantastic team. How do you think you're going to fare?
I think we're going to 2-0 them too, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a few teams that can beat us right now, and Aurora I would say they're not one of them.
Do you have like scrim experience, or are you just confident based on stress?
Just confidence.
Which you've never had a lack of, I suppose. Yeah. All right, well, thank you for joining me for the interview, and good luck in your match.
Thanks.
သူ့ကိုဖြစ်မယ်တဲ့တော့တယ်တော့1စီးနဲ့ရှုံးတာ confident ကတော့အပြည့်ပဲသူမေးရ
GH, one of the best Phoenixes out there too, so I'm pretty sure Nigma's gonna know.
ဟိုကောင်နေ
exactly
Phoenix ယူသွားပြီ
Phoenix pretty strong against Footwing.
Phoenix ယူသွားပြီဗျာ
I think
2 စီးပြီလားမသိဘူးလေ
he's gonna have the upper hand when it comes to support matchup. And here comes
Phoenix
the
ရာကြီးလက်ထဲ
Largo.
ဟိုမှာ
I don't
Phoenix
think
ထည့်
I've
ပေးလိုက်
seen Nigma play it anywhere else than on Davai. So I would be surprised to see a Lornov Largo. That doesn't sound like a Lornov hero at all.
Nah, Lornov wants to be able to take care of the game, like kind of carry the game on his shoulders. Largo, not that type of a hero. It's a lot of heals. Like this is
healing out of some
absolutely. This is something that we haven't seen. That's why I said it was
Largo
normal,
plus
you know, 1+1 on the side lanes, casual Ember Spirit from the mid lane. But I haven't really seen anything crazy, and this is where crazy comes up.
And the bigger issue, the bigger question mark, if you're Aurora, is what is coming next, because you know, the next pick for Nigma is what's called the 18 pick, in the sense that it's the 18 heroes to be banned or picked. And it is famous because it is the pick that closes that picking phase, therefore you can't address it. It's just coming, and then they have 2 bans to protect it. So now it's set up for something scary, because you have Largo, that's a buffer. You have Dazzle, obviously. Really, you know, you think of
Huskar, and I was gonna say that Huskar is
Phoenix against Hilari.
Oh, what is coming next? You know, because that 18 pick could be very scary paired with the Largo and the Dazzle. So they need to cover these angles as much as they can.
And on the side of Aurora as well. Usually a pairing we don't see. Undying plus Phoenix. There's going to be a lot of damage on the ground. They really wish they had a hero like a Snapfire potentially to like. It's going to be an issue. We've seen a lot of zone control. We've seen a lot of zone control spells in the previous series as well, with a lot of these circles, this Midnight Pulse, Frog Stomp as well. Very easy to choose where you're going to be taking the fight. And they also have no attack speed whatsoever to kill the egg and to kill the Tombstone.
It's a Cloud9 special for the old school players. Just drop all the, you know, drop the Pugnawar, the Undying Tombstone, the egg. Like they just can't fight you back. Like there's too many things to click.
Yeah, and so far not a lot of fast hitters on the side of Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think Huskar is a bad suggestion. It's not good against Wind Ranger though, the core matchup, I would say. But they definitely need something that abuses the that can stand its ground, which is what you need anyway when you're gonna have to team fight with Phoenix. So I don't think Nigma's lineup is particularly scared of Aurora's yet. They have some pretty interesting picks that are coming up. This pick has to be very impactful. It cannot be
Lornov ကကိုင်လားရောကိုင်တော့ကိုင်သလားလို့အရင်က
Like I'm a little bit surprised about the Rubik because this doesn't strike me as a great Rubik game so far. I mean,
အဲ့ဒါဆောင်းရ healing အရန်ကျန်းသွားပြီ microphone ပါထပ်ထည့်လိုက်ဒီကောင်လေး
super good Rubik
မတိုးတော့
maybe I'm missing something or maybe they're pre-picking
တခုတော့ရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒီညရင် Tombstone ပြဿနာတော့နည်းနည်းတက် Tombstone ကိုဝိုင်းပြီးတော့ချိုးဖို့ကခက်တယ်မင်းမအဲ့လို Invoker တို့ဘာလို့ပြန်ထောက်မှရအောင် SP နည်းနည်းမြန်နေကောင်း
They also have quite a lot of sustain on Aurora. We talked about sustain on Nigma Galaxy, but you have Undying with the Soul Rip. This is a bit of a new trend.
အဲ့ဝက်ပြောင်းမှာလားဒါပြီးရင်ပါရီနဲ့ VG လားမသိဘူး
I believe it was Miro who brought it back to
the
scene,
VG
playing this offlane Undying, getting
ကြည့်မယ်လေအဲ့ပွဲလေးတွေကြည့်
1 point in Tombstone and maxing out the soul damage is insane, and the heal at the early levels, plus also the scaling, like where you're getting your Lotus Orb. This is the hero that can build into like many different items, but Octarine kind of being the core of the build, making sure that you have this lower cooldown on your
Mounts ကလည်းဟိုဘက်က
brings you back, and also on your decay. So Nigma Galaxy, it's just like watching both of these drafts, last bans, they were kind of prepping for it, seeing the Centaur ban, which would be really good against Wind Ranger and Phoenix, and then looking at the Axe ban, which would be of course extremely good against Dazzle.
ထည့်ကိုနေကမှာရိုက်
But both these drafts are pretty
2.6
pretty dirty in a sense, you know, like you're
facing
heroes, you could call them cheese traps almost. Like there's a lot of healing,
let's pick up Necro ထည့်လို့ရတယ်ထည့်ချင်
basically. So these drafts are drafts that you play against it and you're
အခုလောတဲ့ hot နေတဲ့
I
hero
don't ever want to play against this again.
Does Ember tick the box that you have?
Not really. I'm a little bit skeptical about the Ember pick. It's a good Ember game, that is for sure, but I don't think this is a hero that utilizes Largo or Dazzle for that matter. This is typical. I mean, you think of that, a hero that utilizes Dazzle will be a hero that can turn the fight after he gets graved, right? And that is not Ember for sure. So perhaps what could explain the Ember pick is that they feel like they had limited options on mid, whereas their options for last pick, which is going to be Sumail, are more diverse, and therefore they're not afraid of the bans. Because again, what this 18 pick gives you is 2 bans to protect it. So they pick Ember, now you see they ban the Monkey King, which is a hero that Ember doesn't want to face in the mid lane, and they will ban the second hero that Ember doesn't want to face, and now they know that it's going to be a good Ember game no matter what.
Yeah, on the other side, Aurora is banning heroes that they don't want Sumail to get his hands on. Drow Ranger is one of them, was still left in the pool. Potentially some other ranged carries being removed here at this point, but as said, there's still quite a few left in the pool.
The thing is, these are heroes that are going to have to go against an Undying position 3, which is a very difficult lane for a lot of heroes in Dota, so you have to factor that in. You're not just free to pick anything you want. You have to pick something that can lane into Undying.
If they had a different mid laner, I would be okay with some like Alchemist potentially coming out, something that can utilize that Aghanim Scepter. Largo's a good one if this is going to be maybe the strat where he gives like 1 Aghanim Scepter to his offlane Largo, and then they start to play with it to where they group up, they have this insane amount of sustain, insane amount of heal, and then he plays for himself. I've seen something similar in the Chinese regional qualifiers for TI. I don't know how you feel, Seb, about healing at the moment. There isn't like many things that can reduce the healing.
I think it's very strong, honestly. I mean, which I think is a good item, maybe a little bit underbought, if you ask me. But besides that, I do feel like healing is very viable. I don't think the Huskar's that bad now that I think about it. Sure, there is a Wind Ranger, but essentially how the fights are going to go down is Wind Ranger's going to have to click BKB, but then you're trading very for the BKB Wind Ranger, and after that Wind Ranger will have to run away from the fight. So I could see Sumail is an Oscar player. He's a mid player.
If Wind Ranger reaches level 25, late game you're kind of.
I don't know if it I don't think I've seen it, but I would say that you don't kill a Grave target. But that is to be double checked. I don't know if you.
In the talent.
Yeah,
I am now also doubting.
That's cool. I don't think it would kill. I don't think it would take. Let's go. But that's a level 25 talent.
Yeah, well, and we're not gonna get there because it's the Alchemist that Nigma Galaxy is going for. Ember is a great target for a Aghanim Scepter. Do we feel like this is an Alchemist that will go for that, or will he play for himself?
I think the trend is to not buy Ags anymore because the numbers don't. When you get a feel of it, and like you play Alch and you buy Ags, you actually feel bad, where you used to feel great in terms of economy. So in that sense, I don't know if he will. But it's definitely a great game to pull Ags to your allies. With that being said, I think picking Alch into an risky. But it can backfire.
Yeah, I think they picked it because they have like extra bit of sustain. It's not gonna be easy, but this is also a hero that can jungle relatively quickly with the 2 small camps, medium camp behind him, and I think in this one, if they can get off to a good start, I think you feed 1 Aghanim Scepter.
Alchemist ဖမ်းမင်းကိုအရင်လိုက်ထိမ့်မဲ့ပေါင်မျိုးမပါဘူး
like playing together going for the objectives 20 minutes
တော်တော်လေးလိုက်ပြီးတော့ဒီမှာ like လို့ဟိုကပတ်ဖမ်းနေလို့ရတော့
afterwards it can happen
and I know ဘာလို့ကဗတဲ့ကောင်းနေ
these fights are going to be longer
အစားပိုင်းတော့ like ရှုပ်လို့တော့ရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့မိကိန်းလောက်ဟိုလောက်7မိနစ်15မိနစ်လောက်ကြာရင်မလွယ်တော့
and the Wind Ranger but
invoker လောက်ပဲလာလို့ရ
you will need to be able to reset multiple times
Alchemy time မှန်သွားပြီဆိုရင်
in the mid lane same as
you were easy there.
Do we feel like that went well for both teams? Like, were they happy?
Looked pretty even, I would say. I think it looked pretty stable. I don't think one of them kind of was in the right or in the wrong. What's funny is that in the other game, they picked it in the different order. Like, they picked Ember as an answer to Invoker, and now it's the opposite. So somebody's wrong, somebody's right. They have to settle it. Just, meet me in the mid lane, and we'll see who's wrong and right. Like, that's the best way to settle it. Just play it out.
Is also slightly weaker when it comes down to rotating because you have Dazzle, not a hero that can rotate. Maybe he can like throw in Blood Grenade and Poison Touch, but this is not a Tusk type of a hero that has pretty much every single good ability built in already. So it's going to be interesting to see because I feel like Invoker is going to be having even an easier time compared to what he was playing against in the previous game.
Now that we see the full draft, and we already talked at the start of the draft how it was unusual to have the Hootwink come out first together with the Wind Ranger on the other side. Does it make more sense?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Nigma's draft. I think there are some holes
Nigma draft
But if the lineup comes together, it's gonna feel incredibly hard to stop. I think there is a lot of synergy between these heroes, a little bit more than on Aurora's side. They just need to get there.
We are gonna find out if they can get there. Surely, Nigma Galaxy won't have as bad of a game start as they had previous.
Well, that's the hope, Sheever. We'll see if that actually plays out to be true when the bounty runes do spawn, as Aurora are going to go for one of those classic late smokes. Avery, it feels like once again Nigma Galaxy have put themselves in a precarious position when it comes to the draft. Picking up the Alchemist into the off lane, Undying into a Phoenix. Is this a good idea?
Maybe.
I'm going to say that means no, and you're trying to be optimistic.
And I off lane,
in that situation, however, it is very good with their lineup. So maybe they're just putting on
blinders
and like, I don't want to see what I'm playing against, but
man,
if I can get some ag pools here, if I can get some synergy
first
going across the board, Dazzle, Largo, Alchemist, that's a lot of sustain to get through. You have a lot of kiting potential, good grave targets, could potentially cause this win range a lot of issues. Invoker likes long fights, but he doesn't like long fights when you can just heal through some of his damage if he can't burst somebody down. So I do see a lot of the long-term synergies coming into play for Nigma Galaxy if they can get farmed on these heroes. We'll see what happens in the laning phase here. It started off better than previous game as they split the runes and there's no first blood. So automatically a big swing in Nigma Galaxy's favor.
In fact, they have an Alchemist, so it means they start off with a net worth lead. And Lordoff successfully takes the Sunstrike on the first range.
I like their odds better this time around. We'll see what happens in this top lane, how much pressure WS can put on the Alch. Dazzle is a great support at combating Undying in the early game. His spells are generally annoying for the Undying to man up into. Rubik is not the greatest support at helping him play aggressive early. You don't really offer a lot.
I'm not
sure I believe in this build.
Aurora သူတို့2စီးလောက်လောက်တယ်2စီးဖြစ်လောက်တယ်လောလောဆယ်တော့တပွဲရှုံးတယ်အားမျိုးပေါ့နော် confidence ကတော့ရှိနေတာ
Double Sage Mask is not amazing on this hero, honestly. Yeah, you can just regen up for decays and stuff like that and kind of play
Fabulous. Very good.
Nigma Galaxy, this is an excellent start for them. Seems like Omar and Divine have managed to find themselves a kill on the support Phoenix. So.
And Divine already having a way better game than he did before.
Yeah.
Give that golden jackson. He's seen more than he did the entire lane phase of game 1. So
I also pick with this spell
without even being level 2 yet. This combo is pretty
fire spread
Bushwhack, Frog Stomp, Catchy Lick.
Grenade တွေပါတယ်။ Ali ပိုင်း AC display လို့ရ။
So he's going to have to salve up.
တစ်ချက်ပဲရမှာပေါ့နော်။ fire spread 4ခုရှိတယ်။တစ်ချက်လည်းချက်သိတာ။
range creeps. Oh, gets that one.
Catchy Lick secures one of them. Omar secures the other. So
will be some work for Nightfall to do this game if the Undying's getting kited in the fight. Until the Invoker scale kicks in, he's going to have to play a very clean mid game on this Wind Ranger, find some good targets, and just kind of barrel through the fight. Does have a lacquer to help, but not a lot of control to play with. Rubik Lift, but Phoenix offer you almost none. So you got to land some big shackles in this game.
This is a combo we're talking about.
Bushwhack
sets up the Frog Stomp and then the Catchy Lick for a bit of extra time in that Frog Stomp AoE.
Yeah, if you can ever lick off Wind Run, should turn into a kill.
Mary gets low. Tombstone got laid out, easily dealt with by Nigma Galaxy.
And that's what the Dazzle can give you on this lane. I'm not too worried about Sumail in this Undying Alch matchup. I think Dazzle swings it a lot. Rubik is not a hero that can fight the Dazzle and push him off the wave, so you can always just kind of sit here as GH with the heal, with the Poison Touch, man up, kill Tombstone. You're pretty chillin'. And in fact, Alch can even farm some of the zombies sometimes.
Sumail trying to get the Lotus, but he's going to be tossed out of the pool. Managed to get back inside the pool. Ooh, double poison there from GH. That's going to hurt. And it's going to be Aurora giving up that extra. That
Tombstone kill is really going to hurt WS here. As Alchemist, free farming, 16 CS for Sumail, putting in work up here on the top lane. Lotus should keep him topped up off here as well if you can get some pulls off.
And Lornoff is doing very well in the mid lane. Oh, Nightfall dies! There he goes! Back into the Frog Stomp. That combo lands again. Nightfall this time was just too low on the HP. Did not respect the burst damage.
Should miss a couple of creeps under this tower as well. Kaori going to try and pull it through and save the majority of it. But that's a rough death for him.
Combine this with the Ember Spirit doing better in the mid lane than I think he did in game 1.
Triple lane win potentially here.
Let's see,
it's looking like a great start for them on the side lanes.
I even wonder if
all lane looking
good.
All lane looking
good. Rotation into mid lane, seeing how low the Invoker is. Dive on through, Omar.
They
might have had a kill there if the power shot had landed on the Hoodwink. In fact, he definitely would have had the kill with the blood grenade and the extra bit of
Power
shot is not going to land. Omar managed to dodge it the second time. Every single time Nightfall tries to win. Omar almost walks into a Sunstrike there. Gets the heads up. Lornoff made the communication quite clear. And a third power shot that misses. Damn. None of this is going the way for Nightfall.
I don't see him usually miss this many spells in the early game on what is becoming one of his signature heroes.
Power shot that lands. An Acorn shot. Finally, they get that kill, but it costs them so many resources to get it.
That's a lot of mana. It was a Sunstrike on top of it as well. He has a little more breathing room for Lornoff mid. And it's just jungling up top. Look at this stack Sumail's clearing through. Oh, it's juicy golems. Little wolf creeps as well.
Yeah, this is perfect.
He's living the life. GH got a small camp stack into a double medium camp stack uncontested. Nightfall dead again under the tower.
Yeah, what is he doing there?
Aurora just kind of crumbling here on the side.
What a rotation though. Mira tossing him back into the ice wall. Beautiful stuff.
All right, that's going to salvage a lot here in the early game. They need something going for them because these two side lanes are out of control. As the kill combo.
Phoenix just dead again. Omar shoots him down.
It's here.
Nightfall carry
It's more misspell damage, more mana for Makoto committed to this bottom lane that's not swinging it in their favor.
6 mana power rune. Something not terribly useful for Makoto, a shield rune.
They do have big stacks being created in their triangle right now. That is the one thing that's giving them a little back up here. The Rubik putting in some work on that part of the map.
Which means you need that Invoker to get to the Meteor Hammer soon, and that Sunstrike is going to help out. GH did not offer the heal, went for the offensive option instead, and it looks like Nightfall, well, he's got a win run back up. Might be able to live because of it. Omar, gets around the trees and can't keep chasing. With TP coming in from Mira, they have to give up on that chase. Lands a bushwhack though with a full creep wave on Kiari. Decent amount of damage. GH trying to help with the harassment, but ultimately nothing is coming their way. We have a 3-on-3 in this bottom lane as Divine Llama returns to the scene. Bushwhack, pull back in with the catchy look, get him to the other side of the trees.
What about the Wisdom Shrines though? You forgot the clock. Lornoff. High
ground tombstone might help him.
I guess he will win it here.
Yeah, well, he's going to go back and forth. Now he has to give it up.
You don't have level 6. That's a big win for Nigma Galaxy here. He also scouted stacks on this triangle when he ran through.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if Sumail doesn't try and get in here with his level 6 and level 3 acid spray, potentially steal big camp. It's pretty juicy. So Makoto lurking in the area is going to clear it potentially with a meteor here.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be pushing into Undying Tombstone. Like, that sounds pretty rough.
There was maybe a window, but he's not going to risk it. No point. He's having a very solid game on this Alchemist up top. Just no pressure going into him. Lane worked out really well here with the Dazzle created some space early. Stacks were built up, and he is cruising. We'll see what he opts to go. Could be an Ag Spool game, could just be a straight Alk carry game. I think either is viable here. I think the straight Alk looks more promising to me. But Largo is he's a different beast sometimes.
But somebody slows, so at least he will get the bounty runes before he dies. Does not manage to get the neutral creep deny on himself. Lornoff gets another kill.
Earn charges too.
Yeah, that was something he struggled with in game 1.
This early game's looking really good for Nigma. Even going to get the D-Ward mid. They can look for pretty much anything on the map right now. They could look to pressure the Wind Ranger with the presence the Catchy Lick has down there. They could try and run into the Invoker, who's always susceptible in these early games. Scouting seeing what's going on with these stacks in here. We'll steal a little bit. Also just let the Alchemist clear into the jungle right now. It's going to have a very fast radiance.
step အုပ်တော့တွေ့သွားပြီကွာဒီကောင်လည်းဝင်လူဟိုကလူမလောက်လောက်အားလုံးဝင်ပါရငါ့ဘုံဝင်ဖို့ကြတော့လည်းမတန်ဘူးအိမ်နေကုန်
scouting it out. Unfortunately,
အောက်လင်းကလည်းဒီတိုင်းလဲတာပြီးသားဆိုတော့ဘယ်တော့မလို့
big ancient stack. I suspect it will be a tombstone drop. This Undying needs a little help in this game. Not a hero you want to fall behind on too much.
Lornoff again pushing into this side of the map. Just keeps getting kills on this Phoenix. Dive away, but take out to the urn anyway.
There's not a lot to contest Ember.
And yeah, he's pushed into the safe lane. Nightfall, he just has to vacate the area, right? Like, there's nothing he could do.
Power shot a couple of creeps, but otherwise this is going to be dodge mode. And man, how many stacks did Nigma Galaxy create in this early? Every camp I see Sumail going to has been stacked in this upper jungle. It's ridiculous. Like, GH has just been on Alchemist support duty.
Yeah, it's crazy that they handled an off-lane Undying well enough that he has had the time to make these stacks happen.
I mean, he has stacked that. This camp he's farming right now, he stacked it at least 3 times. The small camp got stacked little dog that's got stacked twice. These are all dream camps for the Alchemist. He is... right now, as Lornoff finds an arcane room.
He's got 100 CS in 10 minutes. That's fantastic. Smoke wrap around here with GH coming through the gate.
Gated on each other.
Sandwich is safe lane, but nobody's home as, Nightfall went through the gate to get out of there. They're doing the stacks right now with the tombstone out.
Yep. This is a big objective for the Undying in particular. WS needs a little bit of a gold injection in this game, though Makoto snagged most of it here.
What do you make of Blink Dagger Rush?
That's pretty interesting. It is quite a good item on the hero. Usually you want something before that if you're having a better game. Maybe he just feels his game is so rough, he's going to have to make something happen around the map. If you can just ult blink on the Alk, it's a little annoying for him. But again, there's sustain in this lineup. I don't know how much this blink is going to work out conceptually early on. You're going into Grave, you're going into some heals, you're going into Largo heal, the Alk ult. Can you just blink in and burst somebody down?
Yeah, this is an off lane that also has some issues scaling if you don't dominate that first 20 minutes. If you lose your lane, and then you also can't find kills in this 10-20-minute window, this hero basically can become a third support.
Nice.
The biggest thing is they just have Ember issues right now.
Yeah.
There's no early control for Lornoff. He is just setting everything up. He has Vessel, he has Power Runes.
Focus fire, Divine making a run for it. Gets back to the tower with the extra armor. These focus fire hits are doing nothing.
He did the javelin, which was coming out of the courier.
A little bit awkward. Lands a bushwhack. Meanwhile, in the mid lane with Yearn on Makoto. He's in some trouble. Lornoff. Can he finish off with another slight? He is forced back by the presence of both the Undying and the Phoenix.
Gets another rune, though. So he's not too sad here resource-wise.
Time machine, Conley.
And play the fight, but this Urn is dicing up something fierce. Almost still dies to the dazzle. The shot comes out. Sharpshooter doesn't quite land. Now a bit of heals from the Phoenix. And once again, Lornoff is forced away.
The cube. Doing some work. This is all space for Alchemist. So look at this net worth chart. It's literally out of control. Like, I don't know what Aurora expect to come out of the jungle, but they are not going to expect what Sumail has accrued here. It's not just freeform Alch. It's freeform Alch with stacks on top of it. 150 CS at 12.5 minutes?
Ridiculous.
What?
I mean, this was like the game plan was definitely the Undying will pressure the Alchemist, and maybe the Wind Ranger can come through the gate, a power shot kill. Instead, it was just a total free farm Alk.
If you're Aurora, you're looking at, that probability scale of like, where do we expect this Undying Alk matchup to fall? And I think worst case scenario on that scale, you're thinking like, okay, maybe some pressure early, but Alk free farms and he's like kind of ahead of the pack. Just off of that probability shot entirely. Like, you're not even considering this a possibility in this draft. And it has come to fruition. So we will see what happens here. He has Ogre Club already, Ogre Axe on top of this Radiance. It'll be insanely fast.
Well, this Blink Dagger.
He got Dream Camps too. Like, he got gold spawn
solution နဲ့တော်တော်ကြီးလုံးလို့ရပြီအဲ့ဒါဆို
This is the NA greed luck, you know. This is the Dota gods paying back your time you spend in NA jail with some nice golem spawns for your Greevil's greed. Oh,
yeah, the variance on the median camp is so insane when it comes to Alchemist, right? It could be 2 units, it could be 6.
Didn't get a lot of the troll summoners though. A little sad about that, but beggars can't be choosers. 180 CS.
Well, he's certainly far from a beggar, being almost 10,000 net worth.
It's insane. This might be some of the records for Alc on this patch.
And the first move from WS with this Blink Dagger, farming some neutrals. Not really what I expected. I thought this was going to be a smoke, and they were just going to be blindly heading to the Alchemist in the jungle somewhere. Not the case. Now they're going to smoke.
Mess those boglets up though.
He did. They're going to go into the large.
This is the one hero you can just kind of ult blink on and reliably kill.
Yeah, for sure.
ဒီနားမှာဟူဝင်ရှိတယ်
It's a hero that is reliant on movement speed to get out of there. They're going to kill the Hoodwink. Now chase after Devi. Grab him with the telekinesis, and that is the death.
ဒါက shallow grave မှာတော့
Nice Sunstrike, the Dazzle, stationary target, and this hero got extremely nerfed with the ultimate. Aurora is going to come in from behind with a beautiful concoction landing from Sumail. This is a bit dangerous move to put your Alchemist, but if they can win out this fight, they'll be so far ahead. It's going to force Nigma Galaxy away.
Just trickling into that fight one by one.
shallow grave မမီသွားဘူးကွာဟောက်မီလိုက်အဲ့ဒါလုံးဝတန်း wrong ပဲ
Kind of a costly
shallow grave ဟီးတာတွေ
from Nigma Galaxy.
နောက်ဟိုဟာဖာသူ့ကိုယ်သူပြန်ပြီးဟီးတာတွေနဲ့ဆိုရင်အဲ့ဘက်တွေကပြန်လဲချလို့ရမမီသွား
from Lornoff before that play, and the Alc went to the fight, which means he loses some time farming the jungle. Pretty good outcome from Aurora with that Blink Dagger on the Undying, making something happen. But again, Sumail straight back into the camps, and guess what?
Knife 4 တော့ chain တူလေးပဲထဲ
more sadder camps.
မေးလို့မဟုတ်
more ancient stacks.
Yes, sir.
သူကဘာကြီးရှောက်ထဲမှာသေပြန်ပြီဘာသွားလောက်တာတော့
GH going to pay the price.
ဘစောရင်အဲ့နေရာမှာတရက်ကွက်လုံးပြထားလေ
This game is starting to swing Aurora's way. Like, you don't want this to turn into game 1 where
စလာပြီ
the map, controlling the side.
ဒီ GB လေးပဲရှာပြီပါကွာပြီးမှ Roshan လေးလောက်
so much to hunt heroes. He's
အားမဟုတ်ဒါကထက်ရှာခြင်းအချိန်ရှိသေးတယ်အရင်ဟိုနောက်မကြသေးဘူး16မိနစ်ပဲရှိသေးတယ်
this game doesn't get
ဒီစိတ်တကားလေးလည်းရှာခြင်းရှာလို့ရ
and
သေး
then
တယ်
you do find those big moments for the Alchemist to punch and hit as hard as he can. BKB already done.
So it used to be that Invoker with the build-up was a very good counter to Alchemist because you would go early Spirit Vessel. Invokers nowadays do not do that.
No.
And I'm not expecting that, but who is going to get that answer to the Alchemist on Aurora's team?
Well, the good news for them is he's so bad, he already has BKB, that Vessel's not good anymore.
Yeah, I guess
so it's almost better you didn't have a Vessel
Nigma
here because you would have
အရင်ကောင်းတယ်လို့မပြောနဲ့ကြုံဘူးလို့ကိုလည်း Nigma ထည့်ထားတာဂိမ်းတူထည့်ထားတာအဲ့ဒါကြောင့်အားပေးနေရ
situation they're in. Oh, another goal. What is happening? This is just disgusting. The thing is, this looks like old school Alec net worth. We do not see this anymore. Like, this is what Alec used to do, 8 years ago. In OG
အဲ့မှာဘူး18မိနစ်မှာနောက် 4K တာတယ်
It was like, yeah, you expected him to be 4
စိတ်လေးပဲဒါကအပြားချောင်းပေးဖို့လုပ်နေတာကွာစူမေးကတကားအပြားချောင်းနဲ့
So this is
ဘယ်လိုထည့်ပြီးမှာအန်ဘာကိုထည့်ပြီး
what
မှာ
this hero can do.
ဒီကောင်မခုတ်ဘူးလား
Territory. It'll be very interesting.
He is going to queue up an Aghanim Scepter. Now, this is
That got
not the
Azor.
same kind of Aghanim Scepter. Old Alchemist would just rush this, and it was ridiculous.
That
The GPM
that
numbers.
got
Not the case anymore, but
Takari,
as you
right.
said, still some very value Aghanim Scepters to be given away. If he can get one after this...
အဲ့ဒါကောင်းတော့ကောင်းပါလေအပြားချောင်းထည့်ပြီးလိုက်ရင်ဒီကောင် GPN တက်သွားမယ် GPN နဲ့ပါတယ်အဲ့ဘောနဲ့ attribute တွေပါတယ်ခင်ဗျ
Slight chains. On to Nightfall. He's in trouble already. Unstable Concoction is going to be used. The BKB just completely ignores the shackle shot. Focus fire for a bit of damage, but Nightfall knows he is already dead.
Oh, can they kill the egg?
Is going to be used, but they have the attack speed.
ဟုတ်တယ်ဆူမေးကအကောင်တွေကိုက်နေတယ်အကောင်တွေကိုက်နေတယ်သွားပါပြီ Shallow Grave ကဘယ်ရောက်လဲ GH Shallow Grave အရန်နောက်ကြတယ်အဲဘာနောက်ကြတယ်အောင်ရာကုန်ပြီလေ
Divide making a run for it, but if he gets tagged by the flesh golem, he is going to die as well.
တိုင်းဆိုးနေတာကွာ
Team wide Aurora. They just
တိုင်းဆိုးနေတာဘာကြီးတော့ဘာကောင်ကြီးလဲအဲကောင်ကြီးက
Wind Ranger, and then you just crumbled. There's no grave that goes off in this fight. There's not enough.
Grave ကလည်းမမီဘူးသူ Wind Ranger ကိုအရင် dive လိုက်တဲ့အတွက် position တွေက off ကုန်တာ Wind Ranger ဟိုးအထဲကိုပြေးသွားတာအဲ့တော့ GH ကအနောက်မှာပြတ်ကြံခဲ့ zombie တွေကိုက်ပြီးတော့ပြန်ပြတ်ကြံခဲ့ရတာမသိဘူး GH တကားလိုနေပြီကွာဟိုတကောင်အမ်ဘာနဲ့အာခီမေကအရန်တည်မှာအထဲရောက်သွားသူတို့ hero တွေကသွားလာအဆင်ပြေတော့ AC ပဲဒါစရဒစ်နေအနောက်တယောက်နဲ့တယောက်ချိတ်ဆက်မှုလိုတယ်ဒါတည်း AC လေးချမှာ Wind Ranger ယူအတင်းဝင်လုံးတာကြီးကမဟုတ်သေးဘူး Wind Ranger သူတို့သတင်းလုံးကိုတကယ်တမ်းဘာမှလုပ်လို့မရဘူးဒီအချိန်မှာဘာမှလုပ်လို့မရအဲ့ဒါကိုအတင်းတွေလိုက်ပြီးကြည့်အောင်အဲ့ဒါကြီးကမာ DH ကဒီနားမှာသူ့ရဲ့အရေးက off limit ဖြစ်သွားပြီ range ကထပ်သွားလို့မရတော့အဲ့မှာတိုင်ပတ်
with the nurse with the minimum duration put onto Nothel projection I think this is one of the hardest supports to play.
It's tough. Especially if you're not maintaining the formation throughout the fight.
Yeah.
The fight gets split like that, it's a nightmare.
ဒီပုံစံတိုင်းဆိုရင်တော့အပြာကြောင့်မပေးတာကောင်းမယ်သူမေးသူကိုယ်တိုင်အဲ့လိုမျိုးစောစီ attack speed များအဲ့လိုမျိုးကွာအစောတွေပါလေထည့်ထည့်မဟုတ်ရင်လည်းတစ်ခုခုထည့်ဟုတ်အဲ့လိုမှပဲရမှာနော်ကြာကြောင့်နောက်ဆုံးမှပဲပို့อ่ะဟိုပေးတာကောင်းမယ်ထင်တာ
Still very farm though.
ဝရင်းကြောင်မအိမ်မဲနဲ့အန်တိုင်းတိုင်လို့အဲ့လိုမျိုး invoker လို့အဲ့လိုဟာတွေကိုအရင်အိမ်ရမှာသိလားဝရင်းကြာသူတို့ပြည့်အများဆုံးတကောင်ပဲကွာ focus fire နဲ့တကောင်ပဲပြစ်နိုင်မှာကျန်တဲ့ကောင်တွေလောက်တာအမှသတင်းလုံးမောက်အဲ့ဒါကြီးအဆင်မပြေဘူးသွားပြီနောက်တော့တာသားသမျှကြီးပြန်အန်ထွက်ပြီ
Tombstone plus egg hits you have to get in.
Right.
If you're going to take a static fight like that, that makes a big deal. If you can just get a little extra attack speed in this lineup, it'll make a huge difference.
ဒီကေယူရပါပြီအန်တိုင်းရ
That idea, get a moon shard on Hoodwink or something in this game. Like it's value.
Well, do you think that Samael should have finished up and been like gotten his 6th item into play early on, get an early AC, and then go for the Aghanim Scepters?
It's a consideration, but I don't think you have to play the fights that way either. You could have this idea of we go in and we hit who's in front of us, and if they pop Tombstone, if they pop egg, maybe we kill one or we kill neither and just back off. Kite the fight.
Down to
that fight they just full sent it.
How take him Amber
They've got Largo to give everybody else mobility.
You don't have to 100% commit to the fight. You can kind of jump somebody, jump a support, see what happens, maybe disengage with some grave or something. You have Largo move speed. You can play it that way. Until you have some of the later attack speed, I think that's probably the way to go. Unless you can just jump Invoker at the start. If you jump Invoker at the start, the fight, whatever, you can just commit in. Because you're not worried about this fight going long. But otherwise, you kind of have to respect the Tombstone and the Egg here in the early game. We'll see who this first Ag Scepter goes to as well. I think there are good arguments for either the Largo or the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I feel like it's more likely it's the Ember, right?
I was going to say a little more likely the Largo.
Really?
I think it's just the more powerful Ags in a vacuum. I don't think Ember utilizes super early Ags as well. Like, I think he wants it later in the game.
Samael, look how fast he takes damage against this Flesh Golem. He has to instantly BKB TP out.
That's one of the issues against this Undying matchup is once WS just bolts and hits you, you're kind of locked into that engagement. Like you have to Nightfall out when you might die doing that as the physical ramps up here. Or you have to commit to the engagement.
အကင်းမှာဆက်လည်းမရှိဘူး၊ပွာလည်းမရှိဘူးနော်။တော်မနာတော့ချနေပြီ။အရင်များလိုက်တာ။
With the Tombstone,
it's coming in. This is going to be kind of awkward. Aurora have to stop doing this.
He doesn't have damage.
Already taken so much damage.
Does he know they're gating?
Yeah, smoke breaks. He goes up to the high ground, realizing, but he doesn't stop anything because Chains doesn't stop the channel on gate. So it needs a hard stun.
They're going to clean up the Tormentor though.
Yeah, they're being a little skittish, making sure nobody comes back through the gate.
Yeah, he's just faking it.
Yeah.
Trying to slow this down.
Which it is kind of working. Trying to snipe it with a Sunstrike. Good attempt, but...
well, that's a win.
တော်မန်တာတော့ရလိုက်တယ်။သို့ပါ
They got this
တ
Tormentor.
ကယ်လို့အဲ့နေရာမှာနော်အကုန်လုံးဝိုင်းလိုက်လို့ကတော့ share ပဲ။အကင်းမြပါလိုက်လာခဲ့ရင်ပေါ့မူးတာလေးပါလေးနဲ့
And the first Ags did go to the Ember Spirit. They're going to
နှစ်ကောင်လောက်ရလိုက်ရင်ဆိုတောင်းရန်တန်သွား
BKB soon. He will be
အကင်းမြလည်း BKB မပါတော့သူကနေခဲ့ရ
pretty reliably now. That's the one aspect of it I like this game. It's a
ကြာကြောင်းပါသွားပြီ Amber Spirit ကဟလား
being able to
ကြာ
chase
ကြောင်း
him.
ပါသွားပြီ
Jumping Invoker being able to chase him sounds
နောက်
pretty
က
juicy.
16,000ကြာကြောင်းချောင်းသာ free ရလိုက်တာ
Mega fat right now. All those golem camps paying off.
Do you think that says, like you thought it was more likely the Largo? How are team fights played differently between those two choices?
With Largo, you're going in as a unit and kind of killing what's in front of you. If you give it to the Ember, you can assassinate some of the supports. And then maybe kite the fight out. But somebody has to deal with Tombstone in that situation. It's not going to be Ember doing it. So it might just fall to Alchemist to try and use his BKB to kill Tombstone. Not ideal. Might be the position you're forced into here. We'll see what Sumail opts for. His body is a machine that turns golems into Ag Scepters.
And he's already turned one of them. And with the increased GPM he's going to be getting, next one might come even faster, though. He's going to go MKB first. BKB, TP away. WS. He's learned from Nightfall.
He has the tutor to teach him the ways. Do you think Nightfall calls for it? It's like you got a Nightfall there.
I think it's a little cringe if you're Nightfall and you call it Nightfall. Everybody else can do it.
When they watch replays and stuff. It's like, do you guys see me Nightfall here? It's so good. I'd respect that, honestly.
Yeah, there's a certain level of brazenness that it actually flips
he didn't come up with the term.
No.
We put the term on him,
That's true. He might as well own it.
Yeah. Nigma Galaxy quite strong right now with the BKB done on Lorinov with that Ags investment. He is a monster on the map right now. Roche is available on their side too if they want to just try and force the Roche with the Alchemist. Dare Aurora to fight them.
Especially if they can take this mid tower, which will help them own a little bit more of the map.
And it will be Assault Kuros for the Alch, which I like because there's some of the extra attacks we do in this game.
Yeah, MKB felt kind of awkward.
Yeah, I didn't want to see the MKB.
MKB made sense if you weren't giving away any Aghanim Scepters, right? If he just went like, he went AC first and then he got an MKB and he was just like, I'm just full carry Alch, I'm going to blink in and kill Windranger every fight.
I just think it's unrealistic. Like, I don't think that's how you're killing Windranger in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Got some big boys on the field right now. Aurora going to be pressured to contest this Roshan that is not an easy fight.
Yeah, they theoretically have very good
Ember Spirit right now. But do Nigma Galaxy feel confident enough to force the Roshan? That's the big question they're facing right now. They're kind of soft looking for a pick-off, at least trying to get some lanes in deeper.
Yeah, it feels like the longer it goes where they haven't taken that Roshan, the better it is for Aurora.
It is.
Like, if they're going to get to that next round of items, BKB for the Invoker, so he's no longer afraid of the Ember Spirit. Shiva's for WS, which is going to feel great for him.
And he will have Ceaseless Dirge for that fight if it comes to it. You got to remember, hasn't really had to use it at all this game since he has 0 deaths.
Zip it around, found the Rubik. Rubik steals right himself, so Mira will not die here. Not today.
Okay, nice.
Stun, no chance. Now, there goes that Ceaseless Dirge, so he's already back up to play. Doesn't give Nigma Galaxy the opportunity for a Roshan through a 5 versus 4, but they may still force it anyway.
It feels good to kill him that fast, though. That was kind of like the soft damage test.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you can jump him anytime.
Oh, Roshan 20 ammo. You're gonna Roshan
Shackle shot, not gonna land.
That's Roshan. Nigma,
they bit the bait. TP both supports top. That buys Aurora a lot of space on the map right now.
Kodo looking mid for an opportunity. Not gonna see it. They'll chip away at the mid tier 2 though.
Man, he is annoying. Did he die in game 1? He did. He had 1 death in game 1. So he's had 1 death in this series on the 2 Invoker games. Very difficult hero to catch.
His building damage is ramping up. Aurora get the attention to top, then to mid. Now smoke through bottom into that.
And I အပေါ်ကြီးတက်လာတယ် BKB နဲ့တိုင်ဟိုရင်ချိုးမဟုတ်ရင်လည်းပြေးတိုင်ဟိုရင်ချိုးမဟုတ်ရင်လည်းပြေးသူမေးခုတ်တော့ခုတ်ပေးနေတိုင်ချိုးသွားပြီဒီကိုတော့
There's a supernova on the left-hand side here that is
very
well protected. Smail runs to the right, away from this flesh golem. Cannot fight into the Undying right now. That's going to be Lornoff's job, but he can't do enough damage. Has to jump away to
what the flash?
Win that fight. They win it well enough that they can take Roach.
Undying is a problem. He just jumps in the middle of them. Nobody wants to focus him during the BKB. Sumail has to use his BKB to kill Tombstone because he got hit by Fire Spirits. Really annoying combination for him to deal with.
Yep.
Here's not able to focus anybody down. This frog got slain by the Wind Ranger damage.
And very different between the two offlaners, right? Nobody can hit the Undying while you have Focus Fire Wind Ranger killing Largo.
Yep.
လာကူကလည်းဝင်ကြတောက်လျှောက်ဟိုဟာ focus fire နဲ့လိုက်ပစ်တာခံလိုက်ရ BKB ကြီးပြီးရှော့อ่ะ
The Invoker and the Wind Ranger to play with. You're assassinating a backliner. Now you get to play around Egg. It's like static team fight round 2.
Back in real time though, Mira has somehow ended up right outside the Dire base.
He bit off a little too much there.
Yeah.
Nigma still have some really farmed heroes here. I mean, that's the crazy part. Still holding on to a lead. But they haven't been able to translate into some big team fight victories. And of course, that is a drastic change in momentum. Winning the Roshan here, putting an Aegis on.
ပြုံ probability ကတက်တက်ကြီးအစ85လားမသိဘူးဒီကမှာအခုတော့30ပဲကျန်
Man, if they get to double
Shiva
shooters,
Gadi
one for the Undying, one for the Invoker,
Shiva Gadi စတော့
between those two heroes.
ရင်းကြတယ်
And who's going to kill Undying in this game? Sometimes this hero can fall off because he generally sucks against big agi carries. Conceptually, there is no agi carry in this game.
Yeah.
And he sometimes is pretty bad against long-range physical damage, which most of them are agi carries, but not all of them. You know, sometimes like a hero like Furion can cause him some big issues. Sniper, I mean, we don't really have any of those. We have 3 melee cores. And 2 of them are spellcasting melee cores, and the other is a pseudo spellcasting strength melee core. So it's a dream Undying game from a core-on-core perspective. He should scale well here. Like, you're not afraid of continuing to go late if you're WS. Some of these Undying games you fall off, I don't expect him to run into too many issues here.
That definitely would have been the advantage of Alk just all-inning on his own net worth.
Yes.
As he would have had maybe such an overwhelming amount of net worth that maybe he can quickly deal with the Undying or quickly kill the Wind Ranger in these fights. But instead, he does some damage, but not enough that is immediately life-threatening.
He could still get back up there, though.
Yes, for sure.
Like, the hero can still scale well. If he can get to... I mean, what does he really want to end up with here? Swift Blink Abyssal MKB is his next 3.
And I first I did that guy came like that.
You have a decent chance of just blinking with Swift Blink, chain stun.
ပေါင်ပြီးနားမှာရှိတဲ့ကောင်တွေက Moosey slow တာ Moosey slow မဟုတ် sorry ခုခံလိုက်ရရင် Moosey slow อ่ะ
That's kind of what I'm looking at.
တကောင်ထွက်တယ်
He almost has MKB.
Moosey slow อ่ะ
နော် 25 talent for a little more sustain.
ဒီတိုင်းဘေးနားမှာရှိနေတဲ့ကောင်တွေက damage amplification ဖြစ် BKB မရှိဘူး
interrupted by the bushwhackers. BKB goes up from Makoto. Samael is alive. Now they're going to chase after the Invoker. BKB TP away.
That's right.
Makoto.
တကယ်ကောင်းတာကွာ
punishes Samael for trying
Invoker ကြီးတကယ်ကောင်းတာပါကွာအဲ့လောက်ကြီးကြာတော့လေပေါ်တယ်ထောက်ပြီး Sunstrike ပြန်သုံးလိုက်အောင်မောက်อ่ะ
The tips coming.
အောက်ပလေးကွာအောက်ပလေး
And now you have 60 seconds to work with. No Alk on the map. He lived with the Berserk Potion. But of course, Sumail always has to go back in. You think you're safe? You're not safe. That was very close on the threshold as well.
It really was.
Let's see what they can do with this. All the lanes are in.
With no out, WS thinks that he can be pretty forward, but almost loses his life there. And he doesn't have the Ceaseless Dirge up right now. Nightfall focusing on a tier 3.
Trying to just blow the Aegis or what?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay.
လာပြီအဲ့တိုင်ကြီးနဲ့အဲ့တိုင်ကြီးကစောင်းရမ်းဆို
Devi immediately carry his force use the supernova as Lornoff goes in with his Ember Spirit. WS being kited around quite heavily as BKB is going to expire soon. Let's see if Lornoff finishes him off with the Aghanim Scepter. Great use of the remnants there, bouncing back and forth. Kept a bunch of heroes away from the Undying. Limited the effectiveness of his BKB. Forced the supernova. Still gets the kill on the Undying. As Omar hits the shot from downtown.
Once more, some of the Nigma Galaxy spells.
ဒီ3တော့ပေးလိုက်ရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့တော်တော်ကြီးကာလိုက်ရ
There is 10 remnants to play.
အမ်ဘာဒါမဲ့ထွက်နေပြီကွာဒီကောင် refresher အော်ကြီးနေပြီအယုတ်10ယုတ်ဟိုပတ်တိုက်လိုက်ဒီပတ်တိုက်လိုက်အဲ့ဒါအောင်မှအား level 3ဒီကောင်တင်ပေးတာအဲ့တော့ magic overtime damage တွေစောင်းရမ်းများတယ်
to control him a bit more.
အဲ့တော့ဒီကောင်ရာရှာကာယာဟိုပါကာယာဆန်ကြီးမပါသေးဘူးသိလားအဲ့ကြောင့်ဒီကောင်မန်နာမလောက်တာကာယာဆန်ကြီးလိုတယ်
Initially because you don't have abyssal buyers or anything of that kind of nonsense. Sure.
refresher အော်ကြီးသွားလိုက်ရ
Buying too much time, like when you can send one
မလောက်ချင်ဘူးဖြစ်
entire team.
1200ကွာ1200
WS just gets left on island.
အဲ့ဒါဝဲသားတော့လောက်ပါရမ်းကြာသွားရင်တော့မလောက်တော့ကြည့်အောင်ဒီကောင်အယုတ်တွေရှောက်တိုက်နေမန်နာတော်တော်ကုန်တာကွာ
That initial
ကြည့်အောင်မန်နာဖင်ကပ်ပဲလုံးဝ
in the long run, and what a shot from downtown.
Bushwhack lands onto the Invoker here in some trouble.
လောက်ပါဘာရှိတယ်ဘာမှမရှိဘူး
The poison, no hex from the Dazzle. Kodo pops BKB, and away he goes.
Well, Sumail won't die this time, so got that going for him. Still highest net worth in this game. Pretty ridiculous considering it doesn't feel like he's gotten a lot done with it in the fights themselves.
And now he's thinking about going back for another Aghanim Scepter, which... A little weird. Largo has already bought his Ag, so maybe he's planning on doing a refund. I can't imagine.
The refund's
Oh my god, this thing's so bad.
No.
Subane.
No, you're not doing anything like that. You're just refunding.
But does Largo take advantage of that?
အတီးအောင်လဲသူလုံးဝအသေးအံပါတာ ထိုက်ထိုက်တယ်ပါတာနေကမှာ
The encore route, right? If it's a good Lincoln's Lotus encore game, I think it can be worth it. It could be value here if you kind of expect the necessity of Hex initiations for Aurora to be coming into play. I actually don't think it's that bad to go into the double Lincoln's build up. He's eyeing kind of Shiva's Bloodstone.
I mean, if he can get to Shiva's himself, and then the refunded Ags helps him get to a faster Lincoln's.
He can do some damage. This hero can still scale pretty well on his own.
Yeah.
No one's focusing him in the fights. I don't think he's going to be a high priority target. So in that sense, you're kind of helping all three of your core scale up and become damage threats. It's interesting. The alternative is just Swift Blink into whatever that 6th slot is for Sumail, which is also tempting here if you can get to it.
Mira. Nice deny on the observer ward there.
Gotta get the next Roshan here though. Aurora.
And by now the world
you know, Fashion was probably not too nice for Nigma Galaxy to deal with. Lose.
Unrelenting Eye is very valuable.
And
Nigma Galaxy against
healing reduction.
True.
50% slow resistance,
especially for the Largo.
Yeah.
လာကိုကဘာလူတာလာကိုကရှီဘာကလူတာဒီကောင်ဘာအပြာကြောင့်ထဲတာဒါကြောင့်အာခိမစီရရမယ်ဟာ
OP spell damage items are there
ဟုတ်တယ်ဒီကောင်ရပြီဗျာဘာလုံးလို့ရလဲလူရှန်10စက္ကန့်လူရှန်10စက္ကန့်ကန်ကောင်းရင်ထွက်မယ်ကန်မကောင်းရင်တော့မထွက်ဘူး
We'll see what it is. 2-1-0.
What? Oh, Cam gone here. Now that 2 minutes has on.
Yeah, you get the next Ags farmed up.
Can go Malaya,
the evoker pressure, and it's a nice part of this matchup.
Cam go bien.
And there's the Hex.
Me go do a Hex.
For Makoto online, so it's going to be a really big deal in these fights. If the Invoker can find the Ember with this Hex connection, at some point, that's your chance to bring Lornoff down and kind of collapse the front line for Nigma Galaxy. Otherwise, you're going to have to play the guerrilla warfare style, where you're kind of assassinating supports, looking for somebody on the back line, kiting in and out, and ignoring the Ember. A much harder way to play the fight.
Setting up on the top wave that's pushing in. It's the Alchemist, though. Not a kill that they can get.
A power with heavy
ammo. If they Hex full combo him, he can die. There can be a grave behind him, plus turnaround. That's your concern. It's not necessarily a play you want to go for with 100% confidence. Anybody can die to this Invoker Hex in the right situation. Cleared out though.
There's the giveaway of the Aghanim Scepter to Largos, so we'll see the Shivas being completed pretty quickly here. WS just gets bursted down. Good
WS show
damage there from the Ember Spirit certainly makes things a bit faster, but that was still very discouraging. And they do manage to get Omar.
That's your gem too.
Gem ကျသွားပြီ
That feels
အဲ့ကွန်ဘိုကြီးကသေမှာပဲကွာဘယ်ကောမှခံနိုင်မှာမဟုတ်ဘူးဖားပြောင်းတယ်ခဲကျဲတယ် defending blast သုံးတယ်သေမှာပဲ
This is a ridiculous neutral item. Well, that's a big victory for Aurora. Getting that gem gives this Invoker a lot more confidence to go in the fight aggressively. Look for those Hex initiations. And they will do just that. Smoke up. There is a really nice ward here for Nigma Galaxy if they want to fight on it.
ဒီကစားဘီဂိမ်းနှစ်ခေါက်ရသေးလားမရဘူးထင်တယ်
WS
Yeah,
not afraid, but maybe he should be. Already half HP. Doesn't want to have to use the Flesh Golem early. And not going to pull
what my second chain is shallow grave out there.
Focus fire on Sumail. They do have the shallow grave, and he's going to get some heals from the dazzle.
Hold there.
But the heals have already come through. Nightfall's unable to finish the job. Slight chains on two, but both get cleansed pretty quickly. Telekinesis run away.
Very awkward for both
အခုမှ shallow grave ရဲ့ power လေးကိုမြင်ရတော့တယ် GH ရဲ့အဲ့လိုဖြစ်နေရမှာတော့10 round ပဲအဲ့ဟာ
Hey, you had WS barely living against Lornoff, making that commitment, and then Sumail almost dying to the Wind Ranger focus down. Only living because GH was able to give him some very well-timed heals.
He needs a dispel other than BKB. The Vessel is just working him. Getting too much value here for Lornoff, though he needs a couple more charges here. And the second Ags did get pooled to the Largo here. So the full Tri-Core is online for Nigma Galaxy. We're going to see how this can scale as they try and push into some luxury items. But
ဘောင်းမှာဘီဂိမ်းမရှိဘူးနော်ချသိနေမှန်တယ်ဒီချိန်စမုတ်တာအကောင်းဆုံးပဲ
they're going to be strong.
Invoker တို့ဘာလို့မှဝင်းဝင်ကြတော့ဘာလို့မှဘီဂိမ်းမရှိဘူးမိဝမ်းအပြတ်အေးဟုတ်တယ်ကောင်းသွားပြီ2 man stand နှစ်ကောင် hex နှစ်ကောင်ရှောင်းသွားပြီ
They pull in Miro.
Roshan you like that die though. What the
right outside the Roshan pit.
I mean, that is Sumail in a nutshell, right? He is never afraid to go in. He's always looking for the aggressive initiation, and he just sends it. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but man, sometimes it works out beautifully. That is a game-winning play right there.
Sumail's going to make pretty short work of the Roshan. Lornoff is going to try and handle the waves with the Aghanim Scepter.
Invoker la run ni wa taku so
here. Kind of interesting considering he's getting close to 6 slots, but I guess everybody's getting close to 6 slots. So like, who else takes this Aegis? The Ember can always play with buyback
and I
too.
mama I know what no
high ground siege mechanism.
And Scary yo refresh out yo
like this.
mama I know ဖြစ်
Nice victory.
ပြီးတော့ဖားလဲဟိုရလာလဲပါရှီဘာကရလာလဲပါအဲ့တော့ healing reduction တွေကအများကြီးပဲအနိုင်သူ့ကိုယ်သူ heal တာတွေနောက် Sunray heal တာတွေကတိတ်မတိုးတော့ဘူးကွာလုံးလုံးနဲ့နေကမှာတော်တော်ကောင်းလာတယ်လို့ပဲမကောင်း
over the Swiftling. Yeah, he bought. Okay.
ကောင်းတယ်လို့မပြောကြီး
That is not something I would have expected. I don't think overall Blink compared to Swiftling is as
ဒီပွဲလေးပြီးမှပြောအောင်ဟုတ်ထဲတာလို့
That does make you a lot tankier. Maybe he's worried about some of the spell damage.
The Invoker in particular.
Game 1တော့ကေးလောက်တော့မရှိသေးဘူးကွာပွဲချိန်ကတော့42မိနစ်ကြာနေပြီတစ်ဖက်လုံးရဲ့ဒီBKB ဝင်သွားတယ်ဆူမေဆူမေ BKB မကြည့်ဘူးလားအော်ဒီကောင်အေးရှိတယ်
They go out to the dash. Couldn't quite finish him off.
He looks screwed.
Yeah, Sumail's going to be definitely be in some trouble with no chemical rage. Supernova stunning him up through the BKB. They give him the shallow grave. He goes for a TP out. No stuns. No stuns.
Hello?
Oh no! Aurora botched what should have been a guaranteed kill.
How did he not get? I mean, he had BKB TP, I guess, but.
Yeah, they already used the Supernova. What else do they really have to go through that BKB? I guess nothing.
Okay. He's just tanky enough to survive. Grave, well placed by GH. They bail Sumail out, but now he has no BKB, no ult. Definitely an opportunity.
Yeah, they should be able to just keep this going, keep the pressure on.
Everything available other than the Undying ulti.
Bushwhack telekinesis breaks it with the toss away. They could just play this slow.
That's a tough high ground.
Yeah, this is definitely not a high ground that you should commit to. We saw the way Nightfall committed on that tier 3 mid. And did not go well for them.
Trying to find the Ember with the Invoker, but one comes back. Some tanky boys between this Ember and Largo. They're both 4,000 HP on average. That is a lot to get through.
What do you think about Mira's build, by the way? He went for Greaves and then he went for Consecrated Wraps. It feels like to me he's just trying to play second Largo. Utility to help him survive. He just went for most of the time, Amphibian Rhapsody is a free steal. Oh yeah, definitely.
Could pay off.
ဒီလောက်ဖမ်းခတ်နေတဲ့ဟာကိုအင်ဗိုကာတို့ဝင်နေကြလို့ရှောက်ပြေးနေတာကွာ။အားကြောင်းပြီးတာဝိုင်းကျုံလိုက်အပွဲသိမ်းမယ်။ဒါမှမဟုတ်အမ်ဘာဒီနေရာမှာထည့်လို့ရတယ်။ဒီမစ်လီယာနေရာမှာဖားကြောင်းထည့်လို့ရတယ်။
Very aggressive D-ward.
Chalagray does manage to save himself for
second
here. Omar's also trying to help him out, going after Mira.
He's alive.
He does manage to heal himself up. Samael goes after Nightfall. Instant BKB, turnaround focus fire. Going after the Alchemist. He's in trouble.
No, man, give me a shoulder, man.
Hello, great. Extra help. The heals are coming through. Samael, he's out regenning the damage. And WS, while they're slowing him down, he's behind tier 3s. It's too late for that one. Device now healing him up. Samael back in a play, goes after WS and makes short work of him. That Undying dies quickly.
Nightfall.
Nightfall pulled back in. Nowhere to run.
This Ember
is way too big of a problem.
No more by
just slicing and dicing the back of the fight as Nigma Galaxy able to kite it out. Might even get the die back on Mira here.
Yeah, as soon as the team fight is won, this Ember Spirit is hunting down the extra kill or two. And this one will be Mira's death.
100 seconds.
Oh, no more. Akimia, by one DY. Invoker by one DY.
Aurora here, they needed a pick off like that.
3,000 HP with that Conjure's Catalyst. No BKB on the Alk. No shot to survive. Dazzle was not range to save him.
I gave him a tower.
Wasn't enough HP for Samael to survive.
We go to one man show load up. Can
it never is. This hero just does way too much damage.
Yeah.
He's got 7,000 gold in the bank too.
Now he's trying to get an Aghanim Scepter. Why? Hoping to hunt him down, but Makoto's just so damn fast.
Yeah, no chance. You're going to find him there. 10-0 and 5, a perfect Invoker game so far. They've not been able to touch him once.
Insane. Look at all that damage. And he's got 7,300 gold in the bank, so he can just outright buy an Ag Synth here pretty soon.
Easy pickings when that BKB is down, right? Like, you have to play on BKB or the Grave. I don't know if that was a real-time reaction to that kill or what.
I was about to say, were they just shocked and stunned that they didn't react, or is that a freeze frame? Bots 2 on this Largo. I mean, he did get given the Aghanim Scepter. I don't
feel like I miss it. I
is insanely farmed. Shiva's Bloodstone bots 2.
Plus level 25, big talent for this hero.
Any P in the Invoker will tap down with it. Well, I think I'm a
it's Nigma.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
maybe
Nightfall finds some nice shackle
connections.
He's being dealt with in this game.
You're a cow, yes, in the local
Ags flown in, he can eat it.
And I have a Pavion to tailor. I need him later. Pavion
It's so hard for their heroes to kill him. Like, a lot needs to go right for them to find this Invoker if he has BKB available.
Now they've got an extra bit of initiation. Now it's not just Makoto, who's obviously going to be, trying to find his opening, which he sees one right here, drops a meteor on Omar, and a Yule Scepter keeps him alive for now, hits him with the Tornado, follow-up Sunstrike. Was that the combo?
Sunstrike
does not actually land, and Samael, what happened to him? It looks like Aurora were making the move at the same time. So while Makoto ran interference against all these heroes, no wonder he went on them in this bottom lane. He figured, even if I don't get the kill here, I'm setting up my team for success off this smoke play.
And he will get the kill.
Eventually, yeah. Oh, Omar managed to Yule's blink away.
Okay, never mind.
He gets out to have Big Cataclysm goes out. Telekinesis tossed back on WS as he was
Nightfall.
Base. Okay, Nightfall finally finds that pesky squirrel.
It was a Hex on WS. We talked about how important the hexes are for Aurora. Well, they got a second one on this Undying. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, that extra bit of initiation for Nightfall to, both him and WS quickly. They can't rely on Makoto to set that up, right? Makoto's going to be playing his own kind of solo game.
So Hex gets the job done here as Nigma Galaxy struggling to frontline against the all-in capability of this lineup. Alacrity, Wind Ranger, late game Invoker.
Catchy leg pulling Nightfall in pretty deep. He responds with a focus fire. Divine Llama doesn't give a damn about that.
He used everything.
Damage is pretty whatever. Tombstone gets laid out with a meteor. That is something he's going to have to worry about. Telekinesis.
Shallow grave.
Further. GH gives him a helping hand with the shallow grave, but Device aims so deep and he can't get away. The Glimmer Cave just going to be dispelled as the tornado comes out. BKB gets popped and the heals come through, keeping Divine Llama alive. But it was all low effort for Aurora. They can just cast these spells from afar. Nigma Galaxy, they have to do the hard work of combating all this.
And nobody's killing Tombstone in a lot of these sequences. It's giving a lot of vision, a lot of just team fight control. Maybe it's not killing you, but it's an annoying spell. I'm not sure who's supposed to kill it. The lineup is not equipped to do it. There's a Bloodthorn on the Ember? Okay, that's a pretty interesting item choice here.
Yeah, it's
a lot of attack speed as well.
Okay.
Which could be useful in some of these scenarios, but a lot more solo killing power for Lornoff. That's what I'm seeing with it. Like, he wants to be able to go in and actually threaten people without the team having to follow him. Could be really nice here, especially
especially in this first fight. Coming his way, maybe.
Absolutely. You catch him off guard. There's a Grease on the Rubik, but not going to be up 100% of the time. I'm just still worried about the double Hex initiation from Aurora. If they can just start the fight on their terms, blink in, Hex one of these big cores and take him down, there has to be a grave there to reset the situation.
Where is Shadow Grave? Shadow Grave what?
GH big save. Lornoff activates the BKB, gets pretty far away. Tornado's going to catch GH on the exit here. Zombies chasing through.
I only know like that. Hey, what a party on the camera. You go like it.
Trying to finish him off. More heals come through though. Divine Llama.
No man. Hey.
Nightfall in a bit of trouble. Managed to get the one kill. Supernova is burning him out. They're trying to reset. They do get stunned. Kenchi Lick pulls him back. Another Kenchi Lick pull him farther and farther away. It's a game of just back and forth here as both teams go in, reset, go in again, reset again, and all that for a Rubik kill.
They got that Rubik though. He got messed up. Sumail got to munch on some mangoes.
Rubik got a meow meow view. You got shine in a position in but
no supernovas. And that's a big deal here.
That's true.
I mean, Lornoff's still tanky. I don't think he needs BKB to be able to go in. You have Grave behind you. This shallow Grave is a big problem in the late game. Not an easy way to deal with it.
WS showed himself. Lornoff not going to go for it.
Roche is available.
Hey, Roche funny. A detail Roshan bomb to roll. Akimea, yeah, let me
have that extra life. Not have to worry about the 100-0 capabilities.
They see the Ghost Walk on mid. Sumail. You don't
want to get caught
goes away, got the sight. The save, Catchy Lick pulls him out, much of the damage. GH uses ultimate, doesn't get a Hex on Makoto, and there's that Phoenix. With the Bloodthorn, they do a Tombstone save. That's going to help out a lot. Lornoff has already used so much.
Okay, finish
the Phoenix gets pulled back into the unstable concoction, and landing onto Nightfall. Telekinesis stops him away. WS, he ran in, but didn't really get to stick on anybody, so now it's Aurora's turn to retreat once again.
Very little remnants for Lornoff to work with right now. It's kind of dangerous for Nigma to go super deep.
Makoto would be a massive pickup. Lornoff.
Nightfall. Mana they machine. They like man. Hey, bell line here. The gun aboard that one. The gun out that one. Hold on, hold on.
But cannot find the Invoker.
And Invoker now line it. Jam about it.
And all the meanwhile that Roche is sitting
so
there.
I love it.
Prize to collect. You can't catch anybody else in this game. if I'm Nigma
သူမင်းက
Galaxy,
သူ့
I'm
hero
thinking about
တန်ဖိုးက
GHs
ဒီလောက်ပဲ
at
ရ
all
တော့
times. He
မှာ
is the guy
ဒီ
who's
ချိန်
going to
က
bail you out from these hex initiations. You
အဲ့
need to
ဖနက်ကြီး
protect
ရောင်း
the
ပြီးတော့
dazzle. You need to
နောက်ဆုံး
play
တစ်ခွက်
near
ထည့်
the
တယ်
dazzle.
ဘာထည့်မလဲအဲ့ချိန်ဘာထည့်လို့မရဘူးထည့်လို့ play အကြီးဟိုဘက်မှာဂျန်တွေကတပြုတ်
Ooh, almost sniped the Roshan bounty there.
There's a refresher shard in the pit. They left it. Did they just not
ဘယ်
see
ကြ
it?
ရှက်ကြီးလीဟိုမှာအဲ့အင်ဗိုကလည်းထည့်ပြီးလိုက်အကုန်ယူအောင်မယ်နော်
If your screen was farther down, like if they were looking at the radiant triangle,
What
they
the-
would be behind the wall, basically.
That's
အဲ့ဒါကြီးကအန်တိုင်းအတွက်လည်းကောင်းတယ်
The thing is, their cores don't use it at
refresher
all.
အော်
This
ကြီး
game
ဟို
is
refresher ရှက်ကြီး
pretty
နော်
useless. You already have a refresher on Ember anyway. He's the
အင်
one
ဗိုက
guy.
အတွက်လည်းဆောက်ရမ်းကောင်းပါအဲ့ဒါကြီးက
Dazzle for double crave might have a decent impact here.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree with that. That would have been the best option.
We'll see if Aurora find it. I don't think they necessarily use it that well either. Your best refresher user is Invoker, but he's almost always going to buy his own anyway. I doubt Aurora checked the pit, so it's probably just a forgotten refresher shard.
Couple items coming in. Nullifier is the choice for
Nullifier.
Sumail now.
Oh, he's just jumping Undying mid.
အေးအမဆွဲပြီးလုတ်လိုက်တယ်အရှောသွားပြီအန်တိုင်း nice
Mira had been on point. This one was not.
အန်တိုင်းကဟိုဟာကြီးနဲ့
Four step doesn't get to low ground.
တော့
He's not the target
အင်းနေ
anyway.
ကြီးနဲ့
Charges the
ပြန်ထွက်လာ
target, and Catchy Lick pulls him out. He's not able to make the dive away. He commits with a supernova. Lorna with the BKB trying to solo it up.
show
And
it.
it does manage to do so. Nightfall.
What the
killed
heck
him
is this?
off the deny. He killed the
What?
egg. Now the tombstone's going to be up next. And
အမ်ဘာခုံးလို့ဥကြိုးသွားတယ်
not going to be able to save
Okay.
himself. Nightfall in deep with his BKB.
ဟောဒီ
trying
သူ
to
မင်း
force
အထဲမှာ
fire
ပြန်
on
ထွက်လို့
Sumail.
ရပါမလား
Sumail
ဆဲလို့ grey ဟုတ်ပြီ
but unless the shell Gray stalls things up once again, it just feels like Nightfall can never quite
အားပြောင်းခံလိုက်ရပြီလုံးတော့ဘိုင်ဘက်တော့ရှိတယ်ဘိုင်ဘက်လာပြီဘိုင်ဘက်လာအင်ဗိုကအင်ဗိုကအင်ဗိုကဟုတ်တယ်ဟုတ်သေးတယ်ဟုတ်သေးတယ်ဟုတ်သေးတယ်ဟုတ်တယ်တော့ပါပြီ
The Invoker goes down. A massive kill for Nigma Galaxy.
He does have buyback available, but the mental
Ember
relief
ကတော့
to
buyback
bring
လုပ်
this
လိုက်ရ
guy
တယ်
down after 2 games of torment.
2,400 gold for that kill.
God damn, that is a team fight right there. Lornoff just mans up. He gets a little help from his old carry and Nightfall to bring the egg
And
down.
Omar just relentless on the pressure, blinks into the base, hits a bushwhack onto Mira.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a
အဲ့ကောင်
dieback
ဘိုင်ဘက်
for
မရှိဘူး
Nigma.
လူပြဘိုင်ဘက်မရှိဘူးရအောင်အဲ့
They
အဲ့
got
လိုရ
a
လောက်
little momentum and they are running away with it. Still have Aegis for 2.5 minutes. They never took that down on Sumail.
I mean, Nightfall has got to make a move here, surely. I think you can't threaten the Largo by
ဟို
himself.
လေအပေါ်လမ်းမှာကပါယူဟာ
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Let's see what Nigma Galaxy can get here. I don't know if you can go for
တီ
throw.
တူးတွေအများကြီးချိုးအောင်
But
ပါ
you're going to be
ကွာ
able to take a lot of
တီ
buildings
တူးတွေ
right
အများ
now.
ကြီးချိုးအောင်
The damage is just unimpressive from this Wind Ranger.
You have tier 2s up. He needs alacrity is the thing.
Yeah.
He needs alacrity and he needs to be able to find a target that doesn't get graved. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. The target he goes on just gets full healed back up. It's an overkill in a sense. They did find Lornoff in that fight, though. I mean, it is worth mentioning, right, that you don't have buyback on the Ember for a little bit here. It's a huge deal. He's doing so much work in these engagements.
Yeah, if he were to die from Nigma Galaxy overextending into the base, it could be a disaster.
Absolutely.
One lane of barracks up, going for a second.
You might
45
also
seconds till the Rubik's up, 10 until the Invoker.
You might not get that help from Nightfall again. He was very merciful there.
That's true.
ဟေးငါကနလန်အင်ဗိုကထွက်ပြီဆုတ်လိုက်တော့အဲ့ဒါဆိုတန်ပါတယ်
Back to 6 months ago and said, I gotta help my boy Lornoff. I gotta help him kill this egg.
Oh, man. You think that egg would have lived?
It was gonna be close.
It was close, right? It
အဲ့
was
ဒီအမ်ဘာကနောက်တစ်ခေါက်အဲ့လိုသေးလို့မရတော့ဘူးဟိုဘက်ကအမ်ဘာကိုတားခဲ့တော့မှာဖားပြောင်းပြီးတော့အေးအိုမာနောက်ဆုံးတော့ဖားပြောင်းထည့်လိုက်ပြီဗျာအဲ့ဒါကိုမြင်နေရအစောကြီးတဲ့
That situation was definitely
အဲ့
just
ဒါအင်ဗိုကပြန်ပြီးတော့ကြောက်ရပြီဒီကောင်မှလင်းငင်းမပါ
Nigma Galaxy.
တကာခုံပြီးပြောင်းချလိုက်လို့ရတော့နော်ရှော့ပဲ BK မပွင့်ပဲတေကိုတေလောက်တယ်အဲ့ကောင်
The blink scythe on
တွင်း2900ကွာတေလောက်တယ် BK မပွင့်လောက် Rubik ပွဲမြောက်ပြီးတော့
item
ကဲရင်တော့
zero
တစ်မျိုးကွာ
combination to react to for Invoker, right? You just blink in like some
Egypt
tree line
စက္ကန့်50
while you're scurried and hex him straight into bushwhack.
ဒီကောင်တက်စရာမလိုဘူးနော်အမ်ဘာဘိုင်ဘက်ဆောက်ရုံပဲ ရန် risk ကမလိုဘူးလားလို့
He doesn't have Lincolns, he doesn't have
risk ကမလိုဘူးနှစ်လမ်းမကရရတယ်ပြန်ဆုတ်တင်တယ်နော်
The one thing that has kept them going in many of team fights. Tombstone save, telekinesis save, even some Sunray heals.
Maybe look at Ag Supernova as well. Potential there.
Yeah.
And they might just try and play for like a buyback advantage in this game. You're only missing the Rubik right now. you're kind of waiting for this Aegis to expire, but then you can take a fight. You know there's no Ember buy, so technically you are favored. It's getting ghost walked on bottom.
သူမင်း Nullifier လေသွားတော့ဟုတ်နေတာကွာ Win Ranger တိုင်ပတ်နေတယ်လားကောင် Win Run 3-3ပြီးတော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးရှောက်သွားလို့မရတော့ဘူးပြီးတော့ဒီကောင်ရဲ့ဒီ innate ability Trace of Wind ဆိုတဲ့ဟာကစပယ်တစ်ခုသုံးရင်သုံးသလိုmove speed တက်တယ် buff အဲ့လိုမျိုး stack ဖြစ်တယ်ကွာ Win Ranger အဲ့တော့ Nullifier တင်ကန်လိုက်ရအချိန်မှာဒီကောင်ဘာစပယ် 3-3 အဲ့ stack ကတက်မလာဘူးဒီကောင်ဗဒဲထဲမှာနှင်းနေအဲ့ Win Ranger နှင်းနေငါပေါ်ပဲရှောက်ပြေးနေမှာကျန်တာအဲ့ကောင်လိုက်ဖမ်းခတ်နေမှာကျန်
comes through from Aurora, but it's just the frog.
ယူဖန်ထည့်လိုက်တာလည်းမဆိုအေးချပြီ
thinks about the tombstone high ground is
အတွန်းဆုံးအေးအတွန်းဆုံး high ground ကြီးတော့မချသင့်ဘူး
Nightfall as well. Nightfall's okay thanks to the safety.
ကောင်းပါမလားမကောင်းဘူးတွေ့လားဟိအောင်နေအဲ့တော့မချနဲ့တော့
no damage. No
တွန်းဆုံးအဲ့ high ground ပတ်တယ်ဆိုတာမျိုးကလုံးဝမချသင့်ဘူးနော်အာလိုက်တယ်ဟာ
chase after Nightfall here. Another
လိုက်တယ်ဟာ
toss it away.
အေးဝင်ရချောသွားပြီအဲ့ဘက်လာတယ်
Now the sight on the Invoker is dead as well.
အေးဟိုတော့ဟုတ်နေတာပဲချချက်တွေကဒါဆိုတောက်လျှောက်တွေနောက်ကဟီးဝေးနေတာကြောင့်လားပါပြေးသိမရောကြ Okay ဒီက5ဘက်4ရော
entirely off of buybacks now.
Six Shackle can't convert on it.
Nigma Galaxy will retreat cleanly. All they gave up was
ဝင်တကောင်ပဲပေးလိုက်ရကောင်းနေရော
That is such a nice fight from them. Another
Well
six
played.
from Sumail just sets it up.
တကယ်လို့အဲ့အချိန်ကချတာအရန်ခက်တယ်နော်ဒီကောင်နေ
And then another great
Supernova တွေရောတွန်းဆုံး high ground တွေရောအဲ့ဒီအောက်မှာသွားချတာတောင်းအနေနဲ့များ
takes
တယ်
down some big targets. He's able to just sit there and hit the egg. He has an Eaten Moon Shard. He has the attack speed in combination with the Bloodthorn Ember. They got to the late game attack speed. They
ဂျားထဲ
can
မှာ
kill these late game
damage ထွက်နေတာအမ်ဘာဗတဲ့ဂျားထဲမှာအမ်ဘာနဲ့ဖားနေရ damage ထွက်နေဒီ Archimate ခုတ်တာတိတ်မခုတ်အောင်
If you pop it at the right time.
အမ်ဘာ damage တွေပတ်ထုတ်တယ်ဖားလည်းအဲ့လိုဂီတာတီးနေအဲ့ဒါတွေနဲ့ပဲ damage ထွက်
for some extra status resistance while still keeping some movement speed. He also can buy out more Aghanim Scepter for his supports even if they're not the best.
ဟိုကောင် Aeon Distant ထည့်လိုက်ပြီးကွာမီကိုတော့ငလဲလင်းငင်းမသွားတော့ Aeon Distant ထည့်လိုက်
Six slot.
BKB ထွက်ပြေးမယ်ပေါ့
And now you have a massive buyback advantage in this game. All 5 on cooldown for Aurora. Every kill is a victory here in itself. And Cowrie?
Lauren off ရောအေးမိသွားပြီဗျာမိသွားပြီဗျာအဲ့ဒါ dive အဲ့ဒါ dive
They already were operating on no buybacks, but now 2 minutes without the Phoenix.
What is he even farming for?
He's trying to get tier 5s. It's past 60 minutes.
Is he the one who should be doing that? I don't know.
I mean, he is one of the few heroes that potentially has an escape if he gets found.
Sure. That was a high risk.
Yeah, fight identity. Yeah, fight identity. Yeah.
Can Nigma Galaxy
Archimate
punish that? They're trying to farm up the tier 5 neutrals themselves. If they can get a bunch here, just go around. You have a 5-on-4. That's super tempting. It's going to be another Ags for Sumail as he will feed it to. I don't know. I guess. Dazzle.
Yeah, I kind of feel like.
Fallen Sky ဟုတ်သွားပြီ Archimate Fallen Sky ရဲရဲရသွားပြီအမ်ဘာ Divine Regalia okay ဒါဆိုရစာအုပ်
We got a couple of pretty nice for this push. You got a Regalia on the end.
Oh, Divine မှာတက်ထည့်လိုက်ပြီ Oh my god.
All right, they're sending it.
ဒီကောင်လုံးဝဒါလုံးဝ end game ပဲ end game ပဲ Divine Regalia plus Divine နဲ့end game ပဲ Oh ပြတ်သွားပြီအောင်ကြီး damage ကြီးကကျွတ်စင်
He is gone. The ceaseless dirge will give them the extra life, but
because spare amplification ကဆောင်းရမ်းများသွားပြီအဲ့ဆို
any sort of confidence. WS
ရုပ်တရုပ်တိုက်လိုက်မထီဘူးဆိုရင်900လောက်ထိမယ်
Nice and early. In this, now that he knows he's going to get jumped, he goes in with the
Shallow Grid လောက်ပါအောင် Divine နဲ့ကောင်းကြီးနော်
He pops the BKB. He's okay for now. Look at Nightfall. Nightfall's in some trouble. Gets off the Satanic with a focus fire. He heals up the full. It's good for now.
Refresh out. Hold it. Hold it.
Jumping around.
No. မတိုင်းကားတွေပြနေတယောက်တည်း
Resetting a little bit here. Backing away. Lornoff is
ပြန်
used
ဆုပ်လိုက်တော့ပြန်ဆုပ်လိုက်တော့
off of this one. And they'll have to
ဘုံဒီ high ground strong နေတယ်အရင်ချလို့လို့မရသေးဘူး
remnants there in the just barrage of remnant spam.
Did that do anything though?
I don't think it did. It looked fancy, but frankly, Aurora didn't really take
ဒီ
much
မှာ
for
လေ
it.
ဒီမှာရှာကြည့်ဒီကောင်တွေမတွေ့ဘူးလား
Roshan, that fight got way too chaotic.
They're going to find the refresher shard, surely.
Yeah, it's still there.
This time,
အဲ့ဒါတက်နေရတာဒီကောင်တွေများမမြင်တာကိုယ်တွေပဲမြင်နေရတာ
Maybe they'll just leave 2 in the pit. That would have some aura to it for sure.
What if you put
Wait,
two
what?
refresher shards together?
Bottle banner shard. Guys, come on. Like,
this is just flat out littering at this point.
You got to take the banner.
လုံးဝမယူတာကွာအဲ့ reaction ကြီးကိုအပေါ်လို့သတ်မှတ်ထားတာ
Banners late game are so good.
What are we doing here? And what is the tier 5 neutral item status? There was Regalia on Nightfall. Harmonizer for the Invoker is pretty nasty as well. Here for the side of Aurora, but it's just book, Fallen Sky Regalia.
Smail makes his jump. Another two-man unstable concoction. The reaction there from Aurora. They do have the tombstone saving the zombie for now, but he's going to pop out soon. He's going to be in some trouble. He gets back to base. He's okay for now. Healing up. Meanwhile, Nigma Galaxy take one building and reset. They got to be careful. Makoto Omar makes his initiation with a Scythe device. Bushwhack follow up with his Aghanim Scepter going. Works Samael trying to lean on him with the Nullifier, getting through the Aeon Disc. Can't get the kill. Has to go back for the building instead. Here comes the Cataclysm trying to dodge this damage. They're good. They dodge it.
ဘိုင်းလာမှလည်းဂျားတွေကနေယုံနေရတော့တခုဆိုဒီကောင်ရှာကြီးနဲ့ရက်ရက်ပြီးတော့ buff တွေဖြီးပေးနေကိုကြည့်နေအဲ့ကောင်ခိုးပြီးတော့
Fallen Sky hits the stun, but the Force Staffs gets the Undying away again.
Going for throne.
One tier more down. Another falling fast.
No
Galaxy putting full pressure
ရပြီတိုင်းလို့ပူလိုက်တော့အဲ့မရလို့ check ချိန်နေတယ်အော်ဒီကောင်လည်းနှစ်ကောင်အင်ဗကချောဝိုင်းနိုးပိုင်ပဲအေး
Device almost dead. Throne had half HP. Lord up is hitting it. They're focusing on the throne. They made the call. You can't kill us all. We're killing your throne, and there's nothing we can do to stop us now.
GG Webley ဒီနေ့တော့လုံးဝခိုင်သွားပြီ
Nigma Galaxy
ကဲအော်ရတယ် 2.4
and win game 2.
What a performance on this Ember in the late game from Lorna.
ရန်တော့မချေပါဘူးဒါပေမဲ့မဆို 2.4 ကတော်တော်ကြီးတိတာ
Deca Remnant Divine Rapier Regalia Ember never
Nice.
died with it.
Very
Had
nice.
the grave backup if it really came to it. He was toggling it 7.
ဒီလေးပါလားတဲ့ပါမှာဘောဒီလေးကတော့
You're just leaving stuff in the pit because you
ဒီ
don't
လေးကတော့
have the
ever ပါ
slots. Insane performance from him.
တော့ဒီညတော့ခိုင်သွားပြီ
100,000 hero damage from that Ember. The next closest was
Nigma carry သွားတယ်ကို
69,000 for Makoto. So he was well ahead of the pack there.
ဟို
Nasty performance, 15-3 and 17.
very very
I
good
mean, props to Sumail for that early game. Like, he farmed so damn fast. GH set him up beautifully. GH played a hell of a game on this dazzle.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Very,
it's a
very
tough hero to play in these late
Game pro games because it's just so chaotic. You have to watch your positioning. You have to make sure you're graving at the right time on the right target. He had a lot of good graves when they needed him. Aurora just got outscaled, outplayed in the late game, and that does not
နောက်
happen
ပွဲက
often.
နောက်ပွဲက
certainly. It did feel like many of these
PG နဲ့
fights,
PV နဲ့
Aurora were playing the distance so
PG နဲ့
much
PV ပွဲကြရင်ပြန်
that
တက်
they
လာတယ်
never
ပဲ
created that kind of fight where you're just blinking in and creating a lot of chaos.
အဲ့တော့လောလောဆယ်ခဏ break time နော် stream အသစ်နဲ့ပြန်လာခဲ့မယ်လောလောဆယ် bye bye